Dontae's Boxing Nation. And let me tell you something right now. If you guys are looking for the best fragrance products in the world, you need to go to ashkicking.com. That is ashkicking.com. Keep your home smelling fresh and clean with Ash Kicking fragrance products. Treat your skin and hair with Ash Kicking all-natural health and beauty products. Everything you need to create a comfortable home living environment and create a comfortable space for entertaining. The best incense burners in the world, home fragrance products, and health and beauty products. Go to ashkicking.com.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
Hey yo, check this out, this is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey yo, you better listen to Dante, baby. Dante!
What's going on, y'all? We are back, and welcome to another great edition of the Dontae's Boxing Nation radio show. I am your host, Dante. Let me go and introduce, as always, the co-host, my man Big Milt. What's going on, Milt?
What's good, baby?
All right, man. First things first, we got a great show. We got a great special guest. But first things first, man, as always, let me give a big shout out to ashkicking.com. Man, y'all need to check that dope-ass website out. They got some great products, so go ahead and check them out, okay? That is ashkicking.com. And check out these new shirts, boy. We getting it in, man. You know we the decaf busters. So y'all know who y'all can call. Matter of fact, if y'all got a problem with these decaf, y'all call that number right on the screen right there. You know what I mean? We'll take care of these, busters over here. You know what I mean? These decafs for sure. You know? Anyway, man, first things first, we also have my man on the panel. You all know him. He's a former fighter, and he also is a contributor on BoxingInsider.com. My man Kirk Jackson is on the line. What's going on, Kirk?
Not much. How y'all doing?
All right. And let me go and introduce my special guest. This man right here is the trainer of the Hammer. It's Hammer time tonight. My man Jason Galarza. What's going on, Jason?
Everything's good. Thanks for having me.
All right, man.
Pleasure's ours.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first things first, my man Lubin, he couldn't make it because he's training and everything, and he's resting. So we have his trainer on the phone right now, and we have a lot to talk about. So, Jason, first things first, man. I mean, you, I'm sure you heard the interview that I did with Jamel's trainer, Derek James. He basically said that, he felt, I asked him a question, Jason. I said, would you say that Lubin is the toughest fighter and the best fighter that you guys have ever faced? And he asked a rhetorical question back. He was like, well, is he better than Vanis Martirosyan? Is he better than Charles Hatley? What's your reaction to him saying that, Jason, first of all?
Well, first off, how I feel about that situation is I truly believe, I'm the coach, of course, but I truly believe this is going to be the toughest test for Charlo. No disrespect to any of those guys, but just on the level of skill, what Erickson Lubin brings to the table is different from every person you mentioned. His style is different from every last one of them. He's very athletic. He has great speed. He got power in both hands. And every one of those guys you mentioned may have had one of those attributes, but not all of them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Go ahead, Milt.
Hey, how you doing, Jason? This is Big Milt from with Dontae's Boxing Nation. Hey, you've been training them for some time now. How long have you all been together? How long have y'all been a team?
Well, I first met up with Erickson in the gym in Orlando. Probably he was around 8 years old. I used to bring a fighter I had over there to spar with him a lot. And then I started getting asked by his coach to take him to the Nationals when he was probably like 10 years old. I would take him to the Nationals. He would win. He would come back. Everybody would be talking big about him. And his coach would figure the next one, he wanted to take him. Erickson called me up. He lost that Nationals. Came back to Orlando, really upset. Then the next following Nationals, his coach called me, asked me if I take him. And so then I took him. He won that Nationals. Then it repeated itself one more time where he lost with his coach. But by the age of 13 is when Erickson became my fighter full time.
And something else, you know, of course, with Derek James, with him training all these champions, you know, the perception obviously is going to be, you know, how do you compete with someone who has a resume like that in terms of, you know, trainer versus trainer? What do you say to fans that say stuff like that, or people in general?
Well, yeah, you know, I've been hearing this quite often, and I mean, how I situate it is pretty much like this. I mean, I don't take nothing away from Derek James; he does a great job. But, you know, they say I'm an amateur coach. I really haven't done nothing in the pros. But, I mean, shout out to the amateur coaches because it's not an easy job. I mean, Erickson's been with me since he's 13. He hasn't lost a fight since he was 13. And go to these national tournaments and fight 5 days in a row, you have to be a good coach to dissect 5 different fighters in 1 week. And I've been doing that with Erickson since he's 13. So what do I say to that? Me and him have a great chemistry. And I believe chemistry is a real big part of boxing.
Okay.
You know, and that's what I bring to the table. I mean, we got a chemistry. I mean, you can ask Erickson himself. It's pretty much people compared it in amateurs like a video game. I would yell out a combination. He'll tell you, he'll close his eyes and believe that combination I told him to throw is going to land. So it's just the chemistry we have. And, you know, with Derek James right now in Charlo, that's what they're starting to learn how to build. And it's not going to happen overnight. Chemistry does not happen overnight. So I think that's where we have the edge coming into this fight. Okay.
And it's interesting because and let me ask you, can you raise your audio on your phone, Jason? You sound a little bit low. I'm gonna try to turn you up. I got you as loud as possible over here, but if not,
yeah, this is
okay. That's fine.
Louder. Maybe I'll go better.
It's okay. It sounds a little bit better, but that's fine. I was. But anyway, let me ask you about this, Jason. First of all, you touched on you know, your amateur experience and stuff like that. So who else did you train? You know, when it comes to pros and amateurs and national champions, even even in amateurs.
I've trained with a lot of top amateurs. Actually became a national coach for USA Boxing. I mean, I've worked with guys like Kenneth Sims. I've worked with guys like. And it's been a lot. Sean Simpson. I mean, we went to this tournament with eight fighters, walked away with 2 golds and 6 silvers. So I think we did a great job on that tournament.
That's awesome.
But I mean, Leroy Davila. I worked with Rashidi Ellis. I mean, I worked with a lot of top dudes, and the reason why they felt so comfortable with me is we have this relationship. And I watched these kids grow out through the years, and I seen, you know, what their strengths were. And I also know how to pretty much read the opponent. So, you know, after working with them, I learned a lot from those guys. You know, they taught me a lot as amateurs the game went. You know, so I mean, I worked with a bunch of guys. I mean, I used to go to tournaments and national tournaments. You would have somewhere between 250 fighters at these tournaments, and by the end of the tournament, there'll be 20 left, 10 different weight classes, 2 fighters per weight class, and I would go with 3 fighters. And almost all the time, I would be in the finals with all 3 of my guys.
Wow.
So that said a lot in itself, you know. So it wasn't like, oh, I'll go to a tournament and maybe here and there we would get into the finals. We made the finals almost every time.
Oh, okay. That's what it is, Jason. Something else, man. Now, I've been hearing from some boys in D.C. who was real close to the situation. Now, they're telling me that basically Erickson Lubin, he was up there sparring, and Broner and Lundy, they were sparring. And so he was outside watching them, and Lubin ended up getting into some trash talk with Lundy. And then next thing you know, Adrian Broner, he said to Lubin, why don't you get in the ring? And I heard that Lubin, he basically got in there, and Lundy, he got so heated that it got real personal. Gloves came off. I mean, this is what I'm hearing. Can you elaborate on that, Jason?
Well, yeah, it's funny because, I mean, it somewhat it did happen in that way, but you know, we went to a training camp that Barry Hunter invited us to, which is a real good friend of mine, and which I learned a lot from coming through the amateur. And we went up there, and there was sparring going on. Erickson Lubin wanted to spar with Adrian Broner. And, you know, they said no, that day they didn't want to do that. And there was some type of sparring going on between AB and with Lundy. And then some words got exchanged, and Erickson did end up getting in the ring with Hank Lundy. And it did spill out outside the ring, and everything, you know, it got squashed. But I think Erickson proved himself as being a youngster. You know, they Hank Lundy pretty much wanted him to have respect on his name, and I guess because they both named Hammer, and so it was actually funny after the fact. But my young boy handled himself quite well.
He handled himself pretty well. And I mean, that sounds like the Errol Spence Broner story. That's what's so funny about that.
Yeah.
You know. Now, how come you didn't get that work with Broner?
I guess at that time Barry felt that who he was setting up to fight wasn't a southpaw, so he probably didn't want to go that route with Erickson. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we got some excellent work up there with a tremendous talent that Barry has in headbangers.
Okay.
That's what's up.
And I also heard that Lubin, he was out there, he was sparring with a lot of the Tyson stablemates. He sparred with Tony Harrison, and this was way before Tony Harrison had lost, right? Or I don't know if this was before he lost or not.
No, that story. No, Tony Harrison wasn't with Mike Tyson. Tony Harrison, when they had walked into the Tyson camp, and I guess you heard of Erickson Lubin, and he asked who he was, and someone pointed him out, and pretty much said he came into his house to whip Erickson's butt, and so they ended up getting some rounds in. It got pretty heated, and the bell got shut off, and
the bell got shut off.
Yeah. Tony Harrison hit Erickson. I guess it was like end of round 3 after the bell, and Erickson at 18 years old told whoever was dealing with the time, shut it off. We ain't putting the clock on, and it got heated, and I guess these guys went pretty much close to 7 minutes with no bell. And by the time that was all said and done, Tony came over to me. He said the kid is better than what I thought. So I mean, he had to prove himself over and over again.
That's what's up.
Tony was 18-0 at the time.
Yeah,
he's 18.
Wow.
My young boy. I mean, the word in the gym after everything said and done was an 18-year-old versus an 18-0. That's pretty much what it was pretty much titled.
I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna let you jump on it, Milt. But I was just taking a peek at the comment section, and it's funny because I'm comparing him, to Errol Spence, at least the story with Broner, and someone just said right now, sparring is just sparring, nothing more, nothing less. But that's funny because that's kind of what they were saying about Errol Spence before he beat Kell Brook. The stories were, his sparring sessions with Broner, his sparring sessions with Mayweather, and a lot of people was trying to say, oh, that's just sparring. That doesn't mean anything. And then we actually found out in Errol Spence's situation, it did mean something. I mean, so, do you see it that way when it comes to Erickson Lubin? And who are they usually comparing Erickson Lubin to when people see his work and everything, Jason?
I mean, honestly, everyone keeps saying Errol Spence. And, I don't believe Erickson and Errol Spence are. The only thing I think they have similar is pretty much the southpaw, and they go to the body well, but I think they got two different games. I think Erickson definitely is a more outside, picking his shot type fighter. When he gets in exchanges, he definitely got heat in both hands. And I believe Earl's more of a straightforward, come at you type guy, break you down type guy. So I think they don't have similar styles, but when you're going to compare him to one of the, I believe Errol Spence is going to go down as one of the greatest fighters in boxing. So I'm not going to be upset with that.
Yeah, it's not a bad comparison, and I think it's I think it's the hunger and the determination to be great. Where the parallels come in. With both of those fighters, man. Anything you want to say on that, Milt?
Well, I'm always curious because it seems as though this has been somewhat of a meteoric rise for this young man, and he's well deserved all the accolades that he's getting. I'm just one of the questions I have is, what was the mindset when you made the determination not to go for a gold medal in these 2016 Olympics? Rather, y'all decided to turn pro. Can you talk about what went into making that decision?
To be honest, to keep it 100 with you, Erickson comes from a very poor family. He wanted to provide for his family.
Okay.
We had everybody from top rank, Golden Boy. Everybody was shooting at us, offers left and right. And we sat down collectively. We ran the whole year prior. Every national tournament we went to, he ended up winning. His last tournament he fought at, we usually go to the tournament probably like 3 pounds off weight. We could knock that out overnight. He came over to me. He's like, already beat all these 141 pounders. I want to fight my last tournament at 152. And I said, why? Let's just run it and get out of here. And he's like, nah, I want to fight. I want to actually dominate 2 weight classes in 1 year. And he ended up dominating 152 weight pounds class also. In the middle of doing that, he ended up going to a duel up in Dominican Republic called the Independence Cup. And he ended up fighting a Cuban bronze Olympian and stealing the show out there and whipping that guy. He gets a W in the semifinals, goes on to fight the top guy from Puerto Rico and ends up beating him 34-5. And he was putting up numbers that weren't heard of, So, we sat down collectively. They wanted to take the headgear off. I didn't want him to take any wear and tear for free. You get a cut in the amateurs and, you got the scar tissue coming into the pros.
Right.
So I didn't really want him to go that route. But we sat down as a family, He's been with me since he's 13. Sat down with his parents, and his parents, they were nervous. The young son of theirs that wanted to turn pro with all these big guys, and but I knew he was ready. I know what he was doing in the gym against grown men since he was 14, 15. So he's always had this hunger to be great, and a lot of people don't understand. I get questions all the time. What's his strongest? What is Hammer's strongest thing? Is it jack or sledge? And I tell people, y'all got it wrong. It's his mindset.
It's his mindset.
The strongest part of his body.
Right.
Speaking of daring to be great and everything, Jason, so who first brought up Charlo's name? Who first said, let's go ahead and go after Charlo? Or did go ahead.
Well, I could break this down a couple of different ways. Erickson, we've been watching the 154-pound class since he was, say, 5-0. We realized around 5-0, 147 wasn't going to be his weight class due to the fact that he was growing. And we saw how rapidly he was growing, and his genes are very strong between his father and his brothers. They're genetically really big guys. So
gotcha.
We took a chance on going up to 54. And to be honest with you, we was watching Jamal Charlo. So ever since he turned 5-0, we started watching Jamal Charlo fight.
Wow.
We wasn't really watching Jamel. We was watching Jamal because that was the big name at 154. So, on his 5th fight, people understand, and I'll lay some facts down because I hear all the time how Erickson Lubin's too young, he's not ready. But, if you really sit down and look at the facts, on Erickson Lubin's 5th fight, he fought a guy by Noe Bolaños.
I remember that fight.
2 months later, Earl Spence fought the same guy when he was 14-0. So he fought him after Erickson Lubin.
Interesting comparison.
Wow.
So me and Erickson sitting in the house and we're watching Jamal Charlo fight Roberto Gonzalez on his 19th fight. And Erickson said, I want to fight the guy that Jamal just fought. And we sat down, we thought about it, and I said, you know what? I believe you could beat that guy also. So, Jamal fought Roberto Gonzalez on his 19th fight. Erickson Lubin fought him on his 8th fight.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, then on the that was the 7th, his 8th fight. He ends up fighting Michael Finley, and then Jamal fights him 1 month later, the same guy when he was 20-0. So, what they're saying is he's too young, but he's fighting guys that they're fighting when he was under double digits.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where do we go from this? If he's fighting guys when he's 7-0 and Jamal Charlo's fighting him when he's 20-0, what do we do? We can't pull the reins. We can't pull him back.
I got you.
He's on that level.
He's on that level. And for everyone just tuning, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jason.
No, you go ahead. I'm just saying, that's how we figured it. He was fighting the same guys. So when they say who has he fought, I just threw out 2 names of guys he fought that Jamal Charlo fought when he was 20-0, 19-0. And he fought him when he was 7, 8-0. So that's facts. That's y'all go to BoxRec and look it up. So.
Oh, I already know.
Same guy. He's been fighting these same guys. We want to fight Charles Hadley on his 10th fight. He got turned down due to the fact that Charles Hadley wanted big money to fight Erickson Lubin.
Oh, so you guys tried to get the Charles Hadley fight?
Yeah, we wanted all the American names that were out there. We wanted them all, but they didn't want to fight Erickson Lubin for cheap money because the risk was the reward wasn't
worth the risk.
Wasn't benefiting to him fighting for a little bit of money. You're gonna fight a young guy, take a chance of losing. So you know what? Let's go for the big money. And you just can't blame his handlers wasn't being able to pay that money they wanted to fight him.
And I imagine at some point, as he's coming up, I know a lot of these fighters, they see what he's doing, and it does become harder and harder to get fights for a young fighter. And then, you know, if he doesn't get a championship fight, all he's fighting are those people who are willing to go in and take a risk. And a lot of times it's not a lot of people who are, you know, who are at the contending level that will want to take a risk. So how did this championship fight come into fruition? I know he was the mandatory, but
yeah, I mean, we was given a couple of different directions to go with it. But I mean, every young kid coming up, I mean, Erickson Lubin was one of them, wants to fight for the green belt. So happens that Jamel Charlo has the green belt. You know, if it was Jared Hurd with the green belt, that's pretty much, we was going for where the belt was. He wanted the green belt, so whoever had it, that's who we wanted to fight. You know, so a year ago, I sat down with a couple of well-known people in the sport, and they came to me and they told me, do not fight Jorge Cota. There's a couple of big names at 154 that turned down Jorge Cota because he's a dangerous fighter. And the same people called me after Erickson Lubin knocked him out and was like, you were right.
Wow.
I know what I have in my fighter. You know, he fought Sandoval. I don't care what anyone says. If you find a guy with 38 wins and 35 knockouts, I don't care if you put 35 cab drivers in front of him. You can't knock them all out.
Right.
You know, the guy was 6'2" and could punch. And people don't know about that story. I mean, when we came to fight the guy, we were supposed to fight him at 154. He weighs in at 159. You know, so he didn't want to cut no weight. You know, he was heavy. He came in much heavier. He probably 175, 180 fight night, and we took the fight and then him stopped it. You know, so we fought tough guys. We fought tall guys. You know, and no disrespect to Charlo. I just feel that we've seen that. We've seen Charlo tough.
Speaking of tough guys, and you guys are hearing other people on the line right now, and I think that's Miss Boxing Baby. She's going to be she's online as well. Hey, Jason, speaking of people that he already knocked out, fighters he already knocked out, can you guys knock out Jamel Charlo? I mean, do you see flaws like that to where he leaves himself open? Are you guys looking at certain fights where you believe he looked a little bit more vulnerable, certain opponents, or what?
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it's not even giving the game plan out. We know what we're coming out to do. Erickson's always looking for the knockout.
Always looking for the knockout.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I think we get Charlo out of there.
Wow.
There's a couple of, like you said, I've been watching Charlo for the last couple of months, studying him, and, you know, difference, like I said, in amateurs now, is amateurs that have one night to study an opponent. So I've been picking Charlo apart for a while now, and he does make a lot of mistakes that we're going to capitalize on.
Wow.
He's just looking like he's going to come in and knock him out early. He's got a big surprise coming.
Yeah, I mean, Jamel, he did say, he said, I don't even understand how Lubin, I'm paraphrasing, but you get the point. He said, I don't understand, you know, how Lubin even got in this position, you know, basically, you know, implying that he didn't deserve, you know, a title shot. I mean, what do you say to him saying that? Your reaction?
I mean, like I said, I broke down a couple of situations on his Erickson's early opponents compared to Jamal and Spence, and, you know, a lot of guys don't see it, but you know what? Erickson, if it was another sport, Erickson was a lottery pick. You know, he came to this game, he was a top pick, and no take away from Charlo, but he wasn't. He had a grind for 7 years before he signed with Al. But he signed with Al in 2014, and that's the same year Hammer signed with Al, 2014. So the only difference is Hammer was a lottery pick and Charlo wasn't. I mean, when Charlo turned pro in 2007. I think that probably his weight class, he might have been fighting at 41 or 52. And if I'm not mistaken, probably Omar Figueroa was running Texas, and Charles Hadley at 52 was running Texas. So he probably couldn't get out of his own state. And he never had that problem.
Wow.
Interesting stuff, man.
Really interesting.
Hey, well, you once again, guys, next week, I feel that this is the main event. I really feel that this is the main event. It's one of the most significant, and that's no disrespect to everyone else on that card. But speaking of everyone else on that card, let's go ahead and get your predictions, Jason. So who wins that Jared Hurd versus Austin Trout fight? Wow.
My honest opinion, I'm going for Trout. I'm going for Trout. I think if there's anyone out of everyone fighting that night, is Jared Hurd has the least experience out of everyone.
I agree.
He has He has problems with a southpaw. He has problems with boxers, and I think Trout did a tremendous job against the bigger, stronger Charlo.
I agree.
You know, he wasn't even supposed to. He was supposed to survive that fight, and a lot of people said he could have won it or it could have been a draw. So
he showed a hell of a chin. I tell you, he showed a lot of heart and chin.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I will not count Trout out. I'm going with Trout.
You're going with Trout and Lara Goucher.
I think now it's the reverse. I said Hurd was the least experienced, and I think Lara's the most experienced on this card. So I think with that being said, I think Lara, you know, is going to put a clinic on, and I know Goucher's a strong and tough dude who's been around. I mean, he can't make an Olympics, you know, Olympian. You know, he's an Olympian, so he's going to be around. He's real durable. I just think Lara is just too crafty for him. He's gonna definitely school him. Okay.
And a big one that's going to close out the year, Jason. Lomachenko versus Rigo.
Now I'm going with Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko is. I think his volume. I think his volume is gonna be a big part in that fight. He's gonna throw a lot of punches. Rigondeaux doesn't throw as much punches, or not even close as many punches as he does, and he's gonna push the issue. Now, don't get it wrong. I know Rigondeaux's another one that's been, you know, in the game for so long and a lot of experience, but I think with the youth and pushing more towards Lomachenko and how he puts his punches together, and they both work great angles, so that's going to be a fun chess match to watch, but I'm going to go with Lomachenko. Okay, man, and that's why I can't wait to watch that fight, man, because it's so split. Actually, I'm starting to get more people picking Loma slightly. Hey, man, well, hey, I want to say thank you for your time, Jason. I will be out there in New York, man, and we're going to continue this conversation before and after the fight. Anything else on your mind, anything else you want to say to your fans, man, or to the fans, period, man? Just everybody, if you can't make it to the Barclays Center, tune in on Showtime, because like Erickson's been saying the whole time, there's going to be fireworks for sure.
It's going to be
no doubt.
It's going to be fireworks
no
for
doubt,
sure.
Man.
All right, Jason. Well, I'll see you next week.
Outstanding.
Good luck, and thanks again, all right, for calling in, man.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Have a great night.
And, you too.
Boxing Baby, you too.
All right.
Thank you, too.
And let me go ahead and welcome Miss Boxing Baby to the show. What's going on, Miss Boxing Baby?
What it is? How y'all doing?
All right. All right. I'll be saying what's up. I'll see you out there next week in Brooklyn. You know, that's pretty much what it is, man. So, you know, since we just for everybody just tuning in right now, that was the Hammer Erickson Lubin's trainer, Jason Galarza. Real good convo we had, real good interview. Also, let me go and introduce my man, another guy's on the line. He has a son who's one of the best prospects in the world right now. My man Money Powell III is on the line. What's going on, Money Powell?
Hey, man, what's happening? How's everyone? Milt, what's going on, man?
Hey,
how's everything for you?
Everything's lovely, sir. Everything's lovely. Appreciate it.
All right now.
That's what it is. So what did you think about that convo, Money? And go ahead. You could give me your prediction now. He done jumped off the line, man.
Okay.
Wow.
Hey, man, you know that is definitely going to be a fireworks type of fight, just like you said. And personally, I think that Erickson is not getting the credit that I think that he should get because of his level of amateur experience. I mean, USA Boxing had a big write-up when Mike Tyson had signed him.
Right.
You know, and I know it was for financial reasons. I got it. But, I mean, this guy was looked upon as being someone that was going to probably get the gold in the Olympics.
I know.
You know, back then in 2012.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was 2016. So it was a really big deal. And so, by pulling that, I think a lot of people forgot that. So when you have someone with that type of pedigree, and for me, seeing him fight, down here in this region, this southeastern region, I'm just sitting back. I'm like, don't sleep on Erickson.
Right. Don't sleep on.
But don't sleep on him. But I do have to say, looking at Charlo, he is good against southpaws.
Yeah.
But the southpaws that he fought are not at the level of Erickson Lubin.
Right.
They are not.
Not at all.
Very slick.
Not at all. And let me
he's slicker and carries power in both hands. which is, you know,
Yeah, he does. He's got knockout. He's got KO power.
Absolutely.
Dynamite power in either hand that they hit you with. That's right.
And let me just say one quick thing. Shout out once again to Ed Valencia, man. Just showed love in the super chat section. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. He said, you're killing it. Great content. That is what it's all about. Appreciate you guys. Mel, is that a DBN hat? I want one. Peace. Good looking out, man. Good looking out, man. Yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get them DBN hats. Once again, you guys can cop the shirts right now. You guys can go ahead and email me at DontaesBoxingNation@gmail and send me your size, and I'll go ahead and send you an invoice. You know what I'm saying? If you want to become a decaf buster and you want to go ahead and get one of these that I'm rocking today, go ahead and send me that information. I'll get y'all suited and booted. All right. Matter of fact, real quick, guys, before we keep the conversation going, let me go ahead and just show you guys some of the new gear that we got, man. Yeah, we got some
couple of these off the chain,
some of these
man.
new shirts, man. I want to go ahead and show y'all. So look at that fly gold and red right there. So we got that one right there. That's the black one. Let me see here. Let me move this mic out the way. Yeah, man, we got that white one. Look how fly that is, boy. God damn.
Yeah, I'll be rocking that one next week.
Yeah, oh yeah. You already know you suited and booted, man.
Oh, for sure.
And we got this new media. Check that out, man. We got this new media right here. That's right, DBN New Media. And I'll show y'all one more, man. We got to get the store out there. We gotta promote the DBN store. So that's that white, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. So we got them in all colors, man. We got them in all colors. We got that red, white, and blue. You know, so it don't stop. It don't stop, and that's what it is, man. So anyway, let's go ahead and get back into it. You know, done with that DBN commercial.
That's right.
So Milton, so what we got right now, man?
It was a slow week this week. Just in the news, of course, y'all know Deontay Wilder now going to be facing his mandatory. Remains to Vern. I'm still not sure if he still gets to step aside money, or is that rolled into the purse now that he's not stepping aside. From what I'm hearing, also it appears Miguel Cotto may be facing Saddam Ali.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So it's not official.
It's not official.
I got some text messages like, "Oh man, Ali, you know, against Cotto." I heard that. Yeah, but it's not official yet. But I want to touch on this Wilder situation. Miss Boxing Baby, let's go ahead and get you in the mix. Ain't heard from you in a while. What did you think about Anthony Joshua just recently saying, right after Eddie Hearn, he had just recently said that Wilder or Joshua is going to knock out Wilder in 3 rounds. All of a sudden, Anthony Joshua, he comes out and he says, whoa, pump your brakes now. He says, look, I'm not going to be forced into fighting this guy. He said it may take a year, 2 years. He said it may not even be to 2020. And just real quick before I get your thoughts, Miss Boxing Baby, it's funny because I thought, you know, when I heard this, it just kind of reminded me of like the girl, you know, that's with her boyfriend and they out somewhere, the movies or whatever, and there's some dude talking stuff and she like, my man is going to kick your ass. He about to beat your ass. You better shut up. You know, and all of a sudden her boyfriend was like, baby, calm down. You know, calm down. He look a little dangerous right now. You know what I mean? Let's just, you know, maybe we could talk about this. We ain't got to fight him right now. So, I mean, it's kind of similar to that situation. Miss Boxing Baby, what you think about that situation? Miss Boxing Baby, you there? Okay. Well,
Hello?
Oh, Miss Boxing Baby, did you even hear what I said? If you didn't hear me, at least everybody else heard me. Okay.
If they fight right now, like within the next few months, I'm going with Wilder by knockout. And I know why
well,
Joshua
clearly.
said a year or two. Yes, I am. And I know why Joshua said a year or two because my answer might change in 2 years, might be a little different. But right now, if you ask me, I'm going with Wilder by knockout. Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
And I said that before I saw Joshua fight Klitschko. But watching him fight Klitschko, I saw a lot of flaws. And I think Wilder can beat him. Well,
not only do you feel that Wilder can beat him, but Anthony Joshua, there's a part of him that feels that Wilder can beat him. Oh man, shouts out to my man that's definitely now part of the Super Chat Army. Well, my man Densum 4228 just shows some love in the comment section. Real good donation, man. I appreciate it, brother. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So shout out to once again everybody that shows love donating in the Super Chat section. we keeping this tank moving because of you guys. So
That's
I appreciate that.
And,
That's what it is.
And Valencia, this is a Kronk hat. I'm not sporting the DBN hat tonight. I'm wearing Kronk in order.
Yeah, I got confused when he asked that. I got confused.
In honor of got some sad news out of Detroit that the original Kronk gym, the original location burned down, was totally destroyed last night. Of course, they have moved to a new facility, but that space where Emmanuel Stewart built that legacy was burned to the ground and there's no more. But the legacy of the Kronk lives on. So my heart goes out to Miss Sylvia Stewart Williams, daughter of the late Emmanuel Stewart. She's still keeping the Kronk going. They moved over to a church, pretty much in the basement, but they're running it out of there. And but I know that building still had a lot of sentimental value to them and the family. So my heart goes out to them. And we'll be sending them some love in the mail here very soon, very soon.
Yeah, and my man Angel Santos, shout out to him. He's already a part of that super chat army, pushing that DBN army. But Angel Santos, he just said right now, he said, "Hey Dante, reply to some of them decafs that was defending Anthony Joshua, in his position and not wanting to fight against Wilder." I mean, this is once again like a Rodney King beaten caught on camera. You don't really have to explain anything,
right?
You know what I mean? I mean, it's right there for you to see it. You don't really have to explain it. You don't have to be like, well, you don't have to explain it. This is the point I'm making. Anthony Joshua is a heavyweight champion, a world champion, okay? And when you're saying, I'm not going to be forced to fight against someone, you should be ready for everyone.
That's right.
So, I mean, and then it's like you really leave your... And I like Anthony Joshua a lot. I've been praising him forever on this channel. He's still on the coincidental list. You know what I mean? He's one of the best on the coincidental list, right? But at the same time, though, you leave yourself wide open when you say, I'm not going to be forced to fight Wilder, but you're fighting against Pulev. But you're fighting against everyone else. So how does that work? I'm not going to be forced to fight that guy, but I'll fight Pulev. I'll fight this guy. I'll fight that guy. I didn't even know. Money. You know what, Kirk? I heard from you in a while, Kirk. I mean, Kirk, I didn't even know that Anthony felt this way. I thought that Anthony, maybe he was, slightly building it up. I knew he had a respect level for Wilder, but I didn't know he had this much respect. Did this surprise you when he said this, Kirk?
It doesn't surprise me, and what he's trying to do, from my understanding, is I think he's trying to live off that equity that he got after defeating Klitschko. It was a classic fight, a back-and-forth fight, and Klitschko's been the dominant name in the heavyweight division over the past decade or so. So I think he believes that because he has that knockout victory over, a boxing legend, he can live off that equity for a while and push back the Wilder fight.
Good point.
For however long, because
2020 maybe.
He feels Wilder's a threat. Wilder's that guy that's gonna, knock him out. And if he pushes it back, he can continue to develop and try and close the gap. But that's what I think he's doing.
Go ahead, Milt.
This is a report that I heard, is that Vitaly, speaking of him living off of Vladimir, Vitaly is considering coming out of retirement to fight AJ.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I've heard that from several outlets.
That sounds like something.
Announcement, yes.
What'd you say, Money?
He did make that announcement. That is floating around out there.
That is floating around.
So Vitaly actually said that, Money. He actually said that.
Yes, he says he did.
And you know what? He's always played the role of the bigger brother.
The big brother, yeah.
He's always been mentally stronger. He picked up the mess that Vladimir made. Vladimir get knocked out by Corey Sanders. Big brother come and clean that up.
Yep.
So I mean, but it's unfortunate that he's older now. But because that would have been a fantastic fight, Vitaly in his prime. Vitaly was no joke, man. He was. He was no joke.
He was the meaner of the two.
Yeah, he was the meaner. He had.
I put it to you like this.
You know something?
Had Vitaly been the one to get him in trouble, he would have finished Joshua off because he was always tougher than his brother to me.
Yeah.
And even now, had they fought at this age, if it was him instead of his brother, I think he would have finished him off had he got him in trouble.
I agree with you.
I
agree.
He would have definitely been more smarter with it. Yeah, he definitely would have been more smarter with his attack, you know, if he would have had him hurt. No doubt about it. He wouldn't have left us.
I still say if Klitschko hadn't got dropped in the round before, he might have finished him off. We don't know.
Yeah.
You have to remember, he was dropped in the round before when he dropped Joshua. He had just been dropped in the round before that. So we don't know what would have happened.
Right.
That fight right there showed me that he's just not ready for Wilder. And I'm not saying I can blame him. I say it all the time. At the end of the day, boxing is a business. It is what it is, but it's a business. And at the end of the day, if he knows he's not ready, then you don't do it. And that's what it is.
It is
that's
true.
How I feel.
Money, what were you about to say, Money?
The fight got to make sense. So, you know.
No, you know something Milt just said. So really, everyone makes some very good points. Boxing is a business, and also at the same time, in a situation like that at that level, when you are mean, forget being talented. When you are mean,
it makes
you have this thing inside of you that says, "I don't care what you say. I don't care how gifted you are. Not today, player. You're not going to win against me today." So when you're in there with someone like that,
right?
Okay, and that's Wilder. That's how Wilder is. Okay, he's that guy that's real mean. Now Joshua, yes, combination fighter, this, that, and the other. Okay, then. And when it comes down to knockdown, drag out, I honestly believe that Wilder is going to be the one to raise up, and unfortunately, that Joshua will fade to black on that one.
Fade to black. And Money.
That's why he said maybe a year or two, because like I said, but fights got to make sense. Right now, he knows he can't beat Wilder, and I said it before. Agreed. Maybe a year or two, my answer might change, but right now he can't beat him, and he'll lose by knockout.
And you know what?
And Eddie Hearns is doing a few days as a promoter and saying that, oh yeah, my guy will knock out Wilder. You know, he'll knock him out. But I'm going to push this fight back and make it, you know, later down the line, but still being the mouthpiece and saying, oh, he has him. He'll take him out. That's what he's supposed to do as a promoter.
And once again, Wilder he continues to defy, you know, this BS decaf logic of, you know, him being so overrated and he's just such a cherry picker. Only when you on the damn coincidental list do you go out chase the baddest, you know, or perception-wise, the baddest heavyweight out there. King Kong is what his name is, Ortiz, right? And this King Kong who like, man, I'm gonna have to get me some super energizers to get in there with this damn man, right? And then you got Anthony Joshua, who's like, hey, man, I'm going to have to at least wait a couple years. Y'all can't force me to fight that, man. Right. Ain't nobody forcing me to fight that damn animal right there. That's crazy. You know? So once again, you know, the truth always comes out. Yeah, it's true that Deontay Wilder is not the best, you know, skill-wise and all of that. But clearly, you know, people, they see something in him. And just like Money alluded to, is that, you know, that anger, you know, that meanness, you know, that toughness, that vigor. That's what we see in Deontay Wilder, and it makes up for, you know, his shortcomings. You know, you can just see Wilder has more of a determination to win than a fighter who may be more skilled than him. He's like, I don't care if you're more skilled than me. I'm going to find a way to win and knock you out. Go ahead, Miss Boxing Baby.
Maybe it's just me, but, you know, I had my thoughts before he fought Sparring. Was always asking myself, can he go 12? I believe he showed his skills in that fight. I thought he looked wonderful in that fight. He went 12. His chin was tested. He took the punch well. He didn't run out of gas. He used his jab. I think he can fight. I think he has skills.
Yeah, Miss Boxing Baby, I agree with you.
I agree.
I think he does have skill, but I think right now, what I'm scared of is that he's falling in love with the power so much. Because one thing about it, right, I know. One thing about it, you know, a lot of people probably won't agree with me on this one, but I think Mike Tyson was one of the most skilled heavyweights when he first came on the scene.
No doubt about it.
I mean, he was one of the best short jabbers.
Best defense, too.
Defense, avoiding punches, and then he fell in love with the power. And he kind of threw all. You didn't see him go to the body as much.
Good point.
You didn't see him using his jab, his upper body movement.
Too.
What's that?
Yeah, no doubt about it. When Kevin disappeared,
yes,
I mean,
yes,
it just,
yes.
Yeah,
he also
time.
We
can also attribute it to him not training like he used to.
And that's
too.
true,
him
too.
going to Japan and sleeping with all them girls and saying, man, all I got to do is land a punch.
Early, and that was kind of pretty much it. He peaked early, and then that was it. And you have a lot of fighters like that.
Yes.
He peaked early, and then when it was over, it was over.
I agree.
But you know something? I was watching Champions Forever, and when I was listening to something earlier that was said, I went right back to that clip at the end when George Foreman said, "It's the job of a champion to make as much money as they possibly can without risking the title." Now, you have some guys, they don't care about that. It's not about, it's not about the money. It's about the name.
Right.
You have some guys that are about the money, then you have some guys that are about the title, being the champ on the man. So it just depends on which one of these heavyweight champions or any champion of any division, really, that you're dealing with is like, okay, are you a champion or are you about the money? Of course, you want to make money, but sometimes it's something beyond the monetary value itself.
Right.
That's why we see some of these big-time knockdown, drag-out fights that we see in the ring.
I think that also depends on who it's applied to, because Floyd Mayweather is a guy that obviously cared about winning, and he cared about money, but he also cared about winning at the end of the day. But he gets criticized for how he fought, despite moving in weight and fighting guys much bigger than him and dealing with different adversities that a lot of the media did not want to highlight. And
I'll tell you,
great point, Kirk.
One thing though, Kurt, I mean, sometimes boxing fans can be pretty fickle. Boxing fans can be fickle, man. They can be hard to please sometimes. And I mean, no matter who they beat, or he didn't beat him the right way, or he didn't beat him this way, or he couldn't do it like this fighter, or and sometimes the fighters do have to realize, hey, man, I got to make money, and if they, that's and they have to separate themselves. That's the reason why you have business people who do conduct business for the fighters. I could fully understand the reason why.
And real quick, guys, we're going to take a phone call. I almost forgot to open up the phone lines. Go ahead, Milt.
No, I was going to say I could fully understand the reason why Canelo didn't take the Triple G fight initially right after he had won. He had talked the trash out in the ring. But he has a camp that said, hey, wait a minute. Slow it down. Let's see how much money we can get out of this fight. We don't want to rush into it.
Agreed.
And then that's the business side of boxing, and it happens. That's what these people do for a living. But as fans, they wanted it to happen that next week.
But the difference is you have that small percentage of fighters that dare to be great.
Right.
Floyd Mayweather did it 17-0. Erickson Lubin is doing it right now. Errol Spence, he has been calling out Keith Thurman since the boy turned pro.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you have that small percentage of fighters that dare to be great.
Right.
And then you have the other ones that do say, hey, man, let me try to make this money.
Right.
I don't really know if I could beat this guy or that guy.
You come in talking about money.
There's no guarantee Lubin is going to beat Charlo, but we see the confidence in him shooting for the stars, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that's why to add on to what Kirk just said, that is the difference from Floyd. People got it all wrong, like HBO execs and promoters. They thinking, man, what made this guy Floyd so special? I don't understand. Was it just some trash talking and all this? It wasn't just the trash talk. It was the combination. That was a small part of it, his personality.
The skill.
But the main thing was he kept winning.
Right.
He was if you look at Tyson's rise, you look at Oscar De La Hoya's rise, soon as they started to break records, that's at the time they start losing. You notice that?
You're right.
That's when Floyd kept winning. He's the only fighter, if you could think about it, in history, soon as he started to become a big star, he kept winning.
Right.
Oscar, soon as he got up there, as soon as he stepped up in competition, he started losing. As soon as Mike Tyson started breaking records, he started losing. That's the difference with Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a call real quick, guys. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. You guys see the number on the screen. If you guys want to call in, we're going to go ahead and take a call right now. We have 619. What's your name and where you calling from, man?
Hey, what's going on, Dante, man? It's Angel Santos, man.
Hey, what's going on, brother? This is one of the leaders of the DBN Super Chat right here, man. I appreciate it, man. And shooting at these decaps and attacking them, I appreciate it, man. Keeping it real with that real talk, the truth, man. What's going on, Angel? What's your name? I'm sorry, I just caught another donation over here. Shout out once again to Ed Valencia. He said, "Go support." Let me see, move this out the way.
Gotta support.
Okay, he said, go to support talks like this. Beautiful. Okay, Angel, man, once again, man, what's on your mind, brother?
Nah, you know, just all the hate on Wilder. They're talking about he's sloppy, he has no technique, and all this and the third. You know what? I'm tired of that, man. Tired of that. It's just excuses. It's just them talking BS, and it's just crazy. You know, these decafs, they just want to talk, you know, they want to throw other things like, you know, Floyd, and they bring other things in this conversation to distract and deceive from what, you know, the subject is. You know, AJ's running. He's scared.
And a rhetorical question real quick, and I'm going to let you finish, Angel. I mean, usually what you just said right now, you know, he's wild, he's sloppy, he's a cherry picker, he's overrated. Isn't this usually the fighter that undefeated fighters, they go after quick? Like, those are usually the fighters, they want to fight quick, right, Angel?
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
So it's not adding up. Go ahead, Angel.
If he's so sloppy and he can get knocked out and within 3 rounds, like these decats are saying, then why don't he make the contract next week? Let's see this fight by December, by the end of 2017. Why don't we see that?
Absolutely.
I don't want to talk about that.
You know, one of the things I think.
Who said Joshua knocked him out in 3 rounds? Who said that?
Eddie Hearn, his promoter, said that.
He's
promoter.
You see these decats, the promoters.
Come on, nobody believes that. Really?
But I think even Wilder, I think Anthony Joshua even surprised Eddie Hearn when he came out and retracted basically what his own promoter said. I don't think Eddie Hearn even expected Anthony Joshua to come out and say that. You know, so, you know, that once again, man, that truth is something else.
Another thing too.
I think the whole of the UK didn't expect AJ to say that, and now they're coming out the woodwork to defend this man right now, and you can see it in the comment section from the AJ video you posted, you know, and it's just funny, man. I've been laughing all day, you know, and it's hilarious, you know, they're coming up with all these excuses for this guy, and, you know, he outed himself, man.
Yeah, somebody just said right now in the comment, well, earlier on, they said, yeah, man, let Anthony Joshua get a tune-up. But once again, that's the most irritating thing to me is when you try to make an excuse for somebody, they're not even making their damn self.
Wait, a tune-up?
Yeah, a tune-up. He just beat Klitschko. He about to fight Pulev, and he still need another tune-up? What does tune-up mean in your definition?
I don't know.
Yeah, what type of definition of tune-up do you have, basically?
They're trying to live off that Klitschko equity. That's all they're trying to do.
I know, man, and it's a shame.
Trying to go up, giving him a tune-up now. The older Klitschko, you know, and that's just a money grab, you know.
I know. It's just some
and a publicity stunt, you know. That's all that is.
I don't know. I don't put it past Vitaly. Vitaly is mean, man. And if I saw it correctly, man, at the end of that fight, he looked like he was still in the gym.
Well, if Vitaly if Vitaly looks anything like, you know, like vintage Vitaly,
yeah,
that would be a dangerous fight. I mean, we really don't know if he comes back. We really don't know how good, you know, he'll be.
Yeah,
so we can't necessarily write him off completely.
Right.
But he might come back looking like Jeff Jeffries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know Jim Jackson. It's Jack Johnson.
For my Jack Johnson fans out there, man, he might come back looking like that. You know, got to get off that hillbilly form, the alfalfa form, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Vitaly is the stronger of the two.
What's that?
Definitely. Vitaly is the stronger of the two.
Well, you mean out of Anthony? Out of Anthony?
Oh, out of the brothers.
Oh, out of the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be, but I don't know. I think I think Vladimir's right hand, man, is something too. You know, but yeah, they both have some good power. But to me, Vitaly was the more well-rounded fighter.
He was.
You know, he had the heart.
Yeah.
He didn't have to rely on, you know, punch and clinch. You know, he could actually fight with you without relying on trying to grab you and everything.
Right.
So that was the difference when you look at the dichotomy. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what it is, man. Angel, so what do you think is going to happen? Go ahead, Angel. Or who?
No. What you gonna say, Dante? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask you who you got on that So who you got on Lubin versus Charlo?
Oh, I got Lubin, man. I've been having Lubin ever since the fight was announced.
Ever since the fight was announced.
When before Lubin was talking about the big talk was Lubin versus the bigger Charlo, Jamal, and that's where I had questions because Jamal is so much bigger than Lubin, and I kind of was like, I kind of had Jamal beating Lubin, but now since Jamal moved up to 160, I was like, all right, eventually he's gonna fight Jamal, and he would beat Jamal. He's gonna beat Jamal. He's gonna beat Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal, everybody, he got, if Lubin gets past Jamal's jab, which Jamal has a superb jab, it's great. It's just not as good as Jamal's.
Yeah.
It's just not as good as Jamal's.
I just think
Lubin gets past Jamal's jab, it's over.
Yeah.
And Jamal trying to exchange with Lubin, it's gonna be a wrap, man. Call it Reynolds. It's a Reynolds, man. Lubin's gonna eat his ass up. Plain and simple.
Well, as the trainer alluded to, it's not a particular punch or power from Lubin that's his most dangerous. It's his mindset and it's his mentality. And
exactly. You see,
I think Jamal is tougher than his brother.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think he's more of a dog. I put it like this: if
I agree.
Was fighting Jamal Charlo, I would have to go with Jamal. But fighting Jamal, I kind of can't pick because I don't know if it's too soon. If Jamal can use his experience, I don't know. So I'm kind of neutral on this one. But if he was fighting Jamal, I would definitely just go with Jamal because he's more of a dog, I believe. I mean,
if you see.
This one I'm kind of.
You see that face off. I mean, that face off said it all.
I saw Lubin fight in person, and this dude can fight. He can punch. His punches are very loud. He can fight. He
got that pop.
Good.
He got that pop.
I don't know. So I'm not doing this. I'm rooting for him. I want him to win. I'm just glad he's not fighting Jamal because I definitely would have to go with him.
One of the things that scared me.
And we're gonna take another call. We're gonna take another call in a minute, guys. Go ahead.
Listening to Lubin's trainer, you kind of just validated my pick, with Lubin, just how he scientifically just broke down the path to taking the fight and then, scientifically break down like how they're going to approach it. I mean, they didn't reveal the strategy, of course, but, just knowing, him providing the insight that he has with Lubin as a fighter and then the path to get there, just validated my pick. I mean, I have Lubin. He's special. And he's going to show it.
Yeah.
And I think, I know I've been waffling, more than the Waffle House in Atlanta. But it's like
with extra butter and syrup.
Yeah, extra butter and syrup.
That sounds good.
I keep going back and forth, and I hate that. But this is my last and final pick. Next week when I come in, I'm gonna be like, hey, yeah, I did the right thing because Lubin is gonna win this thing, man. And like I said, it's 49-51. 49-51. It's not that I got him so far out. It's a close fight. It's a really close fight, and it could go either way. Both of them are dangerous, and I think both of them are the toughest opponent that each of them have faced. So
I agree.
And so this fight could really go either way.
So
but
Money,
we didn't get Money's pick.
Towards Lubin. We didn't get Money's pick on this one, did we? Lubin, Charlo, Money?
No, you didn't get my pick. You had asked, and I went rambling. No,
okay.
I'm going to edge. I have Lubin as an edge. But I'll tell you right now, I went to bed dreaming about that a couple of nights ago, and I came up with, what's his name? Foreman Lyle.
Foreman Lyle
came to mind with this fight.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And once again, for everybody just tuning in, you guys are listening, that's Money Powell III. He is the father of one of the best prospects in the world. If you don't believe me, go ahead and just search Money Powell's name. You'll see his videos on my channel, some of his vicious knockouts and everything. And my man Money Powell IV is an up-and-coming great boxing commentator as well, or Money Powell III, who's on the phone with us, man. So
that golden voice. Yeah,
that golden voice. That's who you. Yeah, he does sound like. Yeah, you got the golden voice. That's for sure, Money. So hey, let's
Hey, thank you.
let's go ahead and take another call, man. Once again, man, we always appreciate you guys waiting on hold. Let's go ahead and see what you guys are talking about.
Well, I'm gonna throw one other thing out there before we.
And my man Angel, brother, I'm gonna let you go and get to another call. Thanks for calling in, brother. All right.
All right, Dante, man. Thanks. Man.
Thanks, man. I'll probably see you out there in New York, man.
Just another thing. One of the only fights that.
All right.
One of the more significant fights that happened this weekend. I just caught the mostly the highlights. Was Chris Eubank Jr. destroyed Anthonty. Yeah, Yildirim of he's Turkish he fights out of Germany. Third round stoppage. He completely blasted this guy. Dropped him in the first. Went ahead and got him out of there in the third. The ref didn't even give a count, but the ref didn't give a count. I think that the guy maybe could have gotten to his feet. Maybe the ref was still going to wave it off, but Dan Raphael, lost his shit. Pardon my French.
It's all good. We all adults over here.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh my God, it was a horrible stoppage. It was like, man, that dude was done. There was nothing else you're gonna get out of that guy. But I tell you, Eubank.
He walked back to his corner and defeated. He looked like he got the spirit knocked out of him. He didn't want to fight.
He was wiped out when he took that uppercut in that first round.
Yes,
you can see all of the wind went out of his sails. He did try, but he got.
And Eubank is the king of uppercuts. Chris
Eubank Jr. in the world's. I keep calling it the Super 6, but it's the Super.
Yeah, Money.
Look, I was just going to interrupt just for a quick moment. My son would like to say hello, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's what's up. Don't mind at all. That's what's up. Yeah. He on the line?
Just a second. Hold on.
Yes. Hey, what's going on, Dante?
What is going on? Money Powell IV is finally online. We finally got him on here, man. What's going on? First things first, man. Congratulations on your last knockout, man. How'd you feel up in there, family?
Man, I really appreciate that. I felt good, man. The guy, he was a little tough because I was hitting with a lot of body shots, but we just slowly making improvements and getting smarter with every fight. And just next fight, I'm gonna throw more punches. This is a step up guy. He's 9-2, never been stopped. So it's a different patient, but we're gonna get the same results.
That's what it is. Money. Let them know when the date is and everything. Where's that one gonna be at?
It's October 21st in Newark, New Jersey. It's on one of the Super Series cards.
Oh, it's on one of the Super Series cards. Okay. That's what it is, man. Okay. Let me get your... Go ahead, Money.
I was just going to say, I'm really happy, that Richard and Ringstar, they make it possible for me to be able to fight on all those cards and get a lot of experience like that, seeing, high-level fighters and being able to showcase myself on those big cards.
Yeah, no,
definitely. But, your future is bright.
My name is Money Powell IV.
Money Powell IV from Miss Boxing, baby. I'm gonna have to send you the link of his work, man.
Please do, because I live in Jersey. So.
Yeah.
You should definitely come out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what it is. And matter of fact, if let me go ahead and get your predictions, man, on the next triple header we got. So let's start with Lubin Charlo, since that's the main event to me. What Lubin Charlo, Money?
My prediction on that fight, I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be the best fight on the card, hands down, and it's gonna be really competitive. I think it's gonna be competitive all the way up until like the 6th, 7th, 8th round. But I think Charlo, just from experience, is probably gonna edge it out.
All right.
Because the level of competition he has far better guys, but I'm not kind of Lubin out at all because. Even though Lubin hasn't fought any top-notch guys, he sparred with a lot of good sparring partners, even in the amateurs. I remember him when he was always 2 or 3 years older than me, but I used to see him running through guys in the amateurs. So I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk for Charlo, but I do pick Charlo in that fight.
All right, we got a split decision when it comes to the fam bam over there. I like that. So Money Powell IV has Lubin. and the third has Charlo, right? I like that.
Or reverse.
Well, no,
it was reversed.
I picked Charlo. Yeah, I picked Charlo.
Okay,
Yeah.
the third. Okay, I'm mixing up the third and the fourth. My bad. You know, so we gonna say
it's good.
Yeah, we gonna say Junior.
Right.
You know, yeah, that's what it is, man. He picking Charlo. Okay, man, that's what it is. Lomachenko versus Rigo. Money.
I got Lomachenko on that one. I got Lomachenko because him and Rigondeaux are both extremely skilled fighters, and they're both really, really smart. But I've seen Rigondeaux get hurt a few times by guys who look a little bigger than him. And I think if Lomachenko does hurt him, he's probably going to end up finishing him because he's not going to let up off the gas pedal. So I do put Lomachenko in that fight.
Right.
The once again, it's not going to be an easy fight because I think early on it's going to be really competitive. But I think Lomachenko is going to start breaking him down in the early rounds. He's just physically bigger and stronger than Rigondeaux.
Yeah, hey, that's what it is. You know, and let me jump back to the triple header and talk about the other fights. So Trout Hurd, Money, or Hurd Trout.
I got that one's a little. I think I'm gonna go with Trout on that one, just because Hurd, his last fight when I saw him fighting against Harrison, he was losing, and I think guys that can move and box give him a lot of trouble. And I think Trout has a lot of experience. He's been in there with the top guys, even like Canelo Alvarez. And I think he's just gonna box his way to a decision. He's just gonna out slick Hurd.
Oh, okay.
I think so too.
I think so too.
And Miss Boxing Baby, you getting all kind of love in the comment section. You're gonna have to go ahead and give out your social sites and everything. Matter of fact, one dude said Money trying to take my girl from me. That's what somebody just said in the comment section right now. But anyway.
No, but I really appreciate everyone's support because being out here in Alabama, a lot of people. Alabama and Georgia, a lot of guys don't really see us out here like they do in California or the bigger states. And I really got you and multiple other people to really thank for helping me get out there, man. Because I'm happy to see my work pan off. And every single day I just make sure I go to the gym, work hard, and stay humble no matter what. Because
there you go.
God will give it to me, and He'll take it away just as fast.
I just really appreciate you guys, sharing the love and go ahead, you just guys providing me the footage and everything so I can put it out there, man, so people can see what it's all about, man. I really appreciate that. And once again, man, let everybody know where they can follow you. And I'm going to put your links in the description box so, anybody who haven't watched the highlights, they're going to go ahead and watch it right now or, after this show. Go ahead and give them your information so they can follow you, Money.
Okay, my Instagram is Money Powell IV, and you can add me on Facebook at Silver Powell. For some reason, Facebook wouldn't let my name be Money. I just put Silver Powell, and I need to I have a Twitter, but it's old, so I need to make probably an updated one because a couple of guys have said it'd be nice to make one of those too. So I'll probably get out there eventually. But for now, it's just Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what's the name on Instagram? Money what?
Money Powell IV.
Okay.
Money Powell IV. All right, man. Well, thanks for your time, Money. And once again, man, I want to start getting you on here on a regular, man. I so people can get more used to you and get your thoughts on all the trending topics, man. So get you and your dad on here a little bit more often when you have some time, Money.
Oh, no problem, Dante, man. I really appreciate everything you've done for me, man. So I have absolutely no problem coming on and talking.
Likewise, family. Keep up the good work, man, and good luck on your next fight. Okay, we'll be promoting it over here as always.
Thank you, man. It really means a lot. You guys take it easy.
All right. Take care. So that was
all right. Okay.
So that was Money Powell IV right there. For those of you guys who haven't heard about him, I don't say this lightly. This is one of the best prospects in the world right now. And when you guys see his work, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll put some links later on when we finish this video in the comment section. I mean, he got people doing the stanky leg. He got people doing the mashed potatoes when he in there sparring.
Yes, man.
I mean, when he was 15. Yeah, Miss Boxing Baby, you're gonna love the highlights that I send you, Miss Boxing Baby.
If y'all haven't seen it out there, man, please check it out.
Absolutely.
Who was that Egypt PHA?
What is it?
That seems like it's cool.
We're reading the comments.
Yeah, Egypt PHA. That sounds like some of my family.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
We got all kind of people. Well, we already know Peru. Shouts out to Peru. Shouts out to Turkey. Some of the cats early in the comment section. You know, they out there repping that DBN way in Peru. You know, in South America and Central America.
One more announcement. You know, as bad as I want to see Mikey Garcia,
we're gonna take a call
Robert Easter
right after Milton. Get this out.
Bad as I want to see Mikey and Robert Easter, it seems that the WBC has ordered a fight between Mikey and Linares. That fight has been ordered by the WBC.
It's been ordered.
Yeah, so I got Mikey in that one.
At least we getting some unification bouts in there, so that's good. But we have to get Easter in the mix, man.
We got to,
because like I said, Mikey himself, he said that he thought outside of himself, he thought that Robert was the best, lightweight champion.
Right.
So even he ranks Easter above Linares.
Right.
So that means we need the fight then.
We got to have that fight.
That means we need the fight, man.
We got to have it.
Let's go ahead and take another call, guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm waiting on hold. Let's see what we got. Okay, we have 570. What's your name and where you calling from, fam? 570, you there? Okay.
He went to check on them collard greens right quick.
Yeah, them collard greens have to flip over them pork chops and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and let me see. we got 931. What's your name and where you calling from, man?
Yeah, Dante, this is Ernest. I'm calling from Alabama.
Alabama. What's going on, man? What's good? What's on your mind, man?
Man, look, I'm a Errol Spence worshiper, but I think he's getting terrible management, man.
Errol Spence?
Yeah, he hasn't fought since May.
But he has a fight. But he has a fight in the works right now for December, though, right?
I do, but here's the issue, though. He wants to fight at home at American Airlines Arena in Dallas, and they got him fighting Peterson, I think, on the 16th of December.
Well, Derek James said that news was BS. So I don't really know if that's even in the works or not. I don't know if they're negotiating. They may be negotiating, but Derek James, Errol Spence trainer, he said that he didn't know about it. Maybe he was just saying it, but that's what he says. But go ahead, man.
Okay, but let's just go for this conversation. Let's just say he fights Peterson in New York on the 16th of December, which is what I've been reading. And like you said, the trainer just may be saying that. But my point is that they got an open date, because the Mavericks play there, and the hockey team plays there. They got an open date on December 16th at American Airlines Arena. I'm just wondering why they gonna schedule him in New York if they got an open date at American Airlines Arena.
I mean, that's a question I would have to ask the managers and the promoters. Milton, what's your thoughts on that?
Money.
Yeah,
basically what it comes down to.
No denying
it. What's that?
So you don't think Errol can sell? He'll sell in New York at Uniondale, but he won't at American Airlines?
Oh no. I'm sorry. Could you expound on that, Mr. Money?
Okay. Hey, no problem, Bill. Look, put your promoter glasses on just for a moment, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just put those glasses on for a moment. Okay. Now, who's going to get you the most amount of money in Dallas versus New York? Where are most? Okay, because of the level of Spence, he's not going to fly that well in Dallas as opposed to him being in New York. The demand, the higher demand, the people are going to pay from out of New Jersey, New York, Philly, it's up that way. Not in Texas. Not on this one. That just won't fly. Now, if he started within his first 10 fights, sure, but not at this level of his career.
Let me counter that. Let me counter, because I am putting my promoter's hat on, and
okay.
let me put my promoter's hat on. He's from Dallas. Football season is over in mid-December. If he goes in Uniondale, New York, I'm not hearing the Barclays. I'm here in Uniondale. He's not going to get 10,000 there. He's going to get at least 14 or 15 in Dallas at home. So I am putting my promoter's hat on, and I see him doing better in Dallas for a first title defense as opposed to Uniondale, New York for a first title defense.
Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. Now, how big of a Hispanic following does he have in Dallas, in Texas in general, versus just a big time melting pot up in New York? Any part of New York, none of that really matters.
Okay, let me put my promoter's hat on again.
Okay.
And I'm gonna chime in a minute too. I want to say something too about it, but go ahead.
Okay. I'm putting my promoter's hat on. Since he's not fighting a Hispanic, he's fighting a black. He has a sizable black fan base in Dallas, as opposed to Uniondale, New York, for his first title defense. So
that's if
he's
fighting Peterson,
when
though,
he's
right?
not fighting a Hispanic.
Me personally,
that is what's going to make him the money in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
In Texas, I will go down with a personal bet that he will make more money in Dallas than he will in Uniondale, New York.
Okay.
I mean,
those promoters picked that place over Dallas for a reason, because of monetary reasons.
I guarantee you it was monetary.
And if it was in
the
Brooklyn,
only reason why
and if
it would
was
be monetary.
And to me, if it was in Brooklyn, that would make even more sense, because that's more of a fight city right there. You know,
Right.
I mean, you take you take Keith Thurman. You know, Keith Thurman. More people going to watch Keith Thurman versus Porter or whoever than in Florida. You know, but what's up?
Let me counter that. Dante.
Go ahead.
Counter that. I'm in Alabama with Deontay Wilder. You think Alabama's a boxing state?
But that's different though, because that's kind of like Terrence Crawford's situation out there in Omaha, Nebraska. You know, everyone is not in the, yeah. You got that one guy that they all support, but all cities and states are not like that though. You know, that's the exception with Omaha and Alabama. You know, I mean, they're treating him like he part of the football team out there. You know, so
my point is, Deontay doesn't sell out. I've been to all his fights. Deontay doesn't sell out in Birmingham. 2/3 of the arena is full. I've been to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
He
really?
doesn't sell out in Birmingham.
Really?
Terrence Crawford sells out in Omaha. Deontay does not sell out here in Alabama.
Wow, I'm surprised at that.
But you,
a good choice, especially since he's fighting Lamont Peterson. I think it's gonna bring fans from everywhere to go to the Nassau Coliseum.
it's a big fight. It's a big fight town. I mean, New York, the state in general is a big fight state. But
Lamont Peterson has a big support base in DC. Trust me, that place is gonna be packed.
yeah, you have all them little. That's another good point. That's another good point. You got all them little states that's close to New York too.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree.
In no sense, he fought in New York before, and now Dante, you brought up the Keith Thurman and Sean Porter thing. Well, they're trying to build up Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it would make sense to have the fight in New York, because they're going to be building towards that audience anyways, and towards that event somewhere down the line.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
I mean, that makes sense too.
Absolutely. But hey man, but you opened up the conversation, bro. Anything else on your mind before I let you go? I'm going to get ready to take another call, family.
No, I think that's about it. I think Lubin's going to get knocked out. I really do.
You think Lubin's going to get knocked out? Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
before you go,
that's why I like this fight, man. That's why I like this fight, man. We got a lot of talking.
You know he's fighting Jamal, right? Not Jamal.
Hey, before I let you go, I gotta say one thing though. I gotta say one thing to him. The Bulldogs coming for that Roll Tide this year, man. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, here we go. Hey, hold on a second. Hold on.
All right, Alabama. I'm gonna let you go, Alabama. All right, man.
All right.
Take care, man.
What's that, sir? What you got to say about that, Mr. Money Powell?
Okay then. Even though I'm on literally the state line, so if it rains hard enough, the time zone shifts on me.
I was born and raised on that state line. I'm the exact same way.
Ooh.
Exact same way. I'm near Dothan, Alabama.
Roll Tide. Oh, okay, man. All right. Oh, you're Dothan? Oh,
I'm right near Dothan. I'm on the Georgia side, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then. Oh, man. That is wild. Yeah, it's Roll Tide, though, man. Straight up.
It's Roll Tide.
All the time.
I'm telling you, them dogs, they serious this year. I just want to let y'all know. We appreciate y'all for giving us Kirby. But back to the boxing.
Back to the box. Let's go ahead and take another call, man. Let's go ahead and take another call real quick. Yeah. And how long we been in, Milt? Let's see how long we been going strong, man. And once again, first, before I'm about to take another call, but let me go ahead and give a shout out to the DBN Super Chat Army. So shouts out to Ed Valencia.
Most definitely.
Shouts out to what's that? That's Denson. That's Denson 4228. Shouts out to my family, Angel Santos, man. Shouts out to everybody that showed love tonight. You know, pushing that tank. You know, we getting it pushing over here, y'all, at DBN all day. Yes, sir. No limit. Okay, let me go ahead and take another call real quick.
One more thing before we go into that one. I know some people probably weren't looking forward to it, but I am, because he's a local guy, and, you know, we got to keep Vegas strong. Mr. Jesse Magdaleno suffered a left wrist injury.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, Jesse's going to have to pull out of that fight.
And he had a tough fight. Who was it against? Juarez? What was his name?
I know, man. Put me on the
Y'all
spot.
tell me in the comment section.
Yeah.
Well, I put myself on the spot.
Yeah,
I just threw a name out there. Yeah, but I forgot. Magdaleno was. Shout out to my man Jesse Magdaleno.
Yeah.
You know, one of the first gyms that we came out here and trained at was Barry's Boxing, and you know, Remy, and shouts out to Remy and Genesis. They were over there training over there with Jesse Magdaleno. So yeah, we go way back with Jesse Magdaleno. He's a beast. He put that work on my boy Nonito Donaire. That was a great win for him. Okay, let's go ahead and take another call.
Juarez, right?
It was Juarez. Was it Juarez?
Yeah.
That's what I said, but I wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure either. And I was like, man, don't make me lie.
Yeah, it was Juarez. Okay, okay. Let's go ahead and open up. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's see here. All right, we have 404. What's your name and where you calling from, man?
This the Dawn. I'm calling from I'm repping that Danny Jacobs site.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, my thing is I'm kind of mad at the fight because I think Danny Jacobs, he deserved a rematch with Triple G. But in the same time, I feel like Canelo, he deserve it, but he don't deserve it. You feel me? Like, he should back off a little bit because I don't think Triple G, I think he got the most of him. And I'm surprised Triple G didn't knock him out, but they both got good chins. You feel me?
Canelo might not even want. I don't even know if Canelo want the rematch. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro.
But you know, Canelo.
I don't think he want a rematch either. Canelo don't want a rematch.
But Canelo is also keeping Canelo.
They have to make the rematch. Trust me, it's gonna be Cinco de Mayo weekend.
It's a tie.
Yeah,
I believe it's gonna happen.
No, I believe it's gonna happen. I believe it's gonna happen.
But one thing, Canelo is pressing Triple G to make sure that he does not take another fight in between that time either. You know, so.
And if he do take another fight, trust me, it won't be Danny Jacobs. That's too much of a risk.
Yeah, it is too big of a risk. That's too. Yeah, it won't. Yeah.
I don't want that. He a problem. He in the same boat. The same boat as Deontay Wilder right now. Everybody's running.
Yeah, but see, I wonder, but I do.
But Luis Arias is talking reckless, man.
As soon as I heard him say I'm repping that Danny Jacobs.
He is talking. He flagrant, man. He flagrant with it. He's like, ooh.
So you didn't even mention my man. You didn't even mention Cuba, Luis Arias. So that means you don't give him a shot at all. You don't see it being competitive at all.
No, it's not that. It's just that I know Danny Jacobs, he don't play in that ring. Like, he might smile off camera, but Danny Jacobs, when he get in that ring, it's like a whole different person.
Yeah.
I don't think Ariello is ready for that. He's not ready for an aggressive type person, and he don't back off. He box and then he box. You feel me? He's an aggressive fighter.
Yeah,
and that's dangerous right there to just walk in the ring with him.
And Money Powell, real quick, I want to ask you when it comes to Danny Jacobs signing with Eddie Hearn and HBO, Do you think maybe Eddie Hearn has a plan? Because I heard Eddie Hearn drop it. He said, you know, we want the Canelos, we want the Golovkin. Do you think that that's what their plan is? And do you think that's why Jacobs may have just signed with Eddie Hearn and HBO money, or what?
Yeah, more than likely, you know, I think the signing with HBO was an awesome idea, because they're going to make sure that they take care of him. You know, let's just look at it for what it is, you know, business. But when Eddie Hearn steps in there, he's going to make sure that, I think, you know, that he's going to make as much money as he possibly can off of Jacobs, maybe some stuff on the, you know, in-house here and there, and then that just may fade after a while. Just for right now, to me, I was a little surprised that he signed with Eddie Hearn, but I'm like, okay, no way.
Yeah,
you know, he has
really chasing the money.
What'd you say?
Okay, you know,
chasing the money.
HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I think
and I mean, and it makes sense though. You know, if you are an HBO fighter, you know, and especially at his level, the money's there. You're gonna be, yep.
And you know what, man, and I truly believe that Eddie Hearn probably is even looking at America and like saying to himself, what is going over there, and you know, what's going on over there in the States? Because these fighters would have been huge stars in the UK.
Oh, most definitely.
I truly believe Eddie Hearn was looking at it that way.
Oh, great.
He was like,
no denying it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He was like, man, I need to. So maybe
you are right,
Eddie Hearn might be a savior for American boxing. You know, he may be like, you know, let me start taking advantage. And making some of these fighters that deserve to be stars, because over here in America, once again, they cater to foreigners. You know, they cater to Canelo, Golovkin, and they be like, forget about our own countrymen. And Eddie Hearn is like, man, I'm gonna take advantage.
Coming and filling that void. Yeah,
he's filling the void.
You know something, Dante?
Money.
You know something, Dante? You make a solid point, man.
Yeah,
a solid point, because when Money went over in June to fight over in Paris, the love that he received over there was just like, it was mind-blowing.
Wow.
I'm like, these people don't even know him. And after watching the sensational KO that he had, you would have thought that Money was a superstar. I'm like, wow.
The respect.
So, yeah, you have a good point. You have a good point.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, it's crazy that it's that way. And then, you know, and we can't deny the love that we just personally get. My man Milt know, you know, in the military, you already know just that love, man. Period. You know, going over overseas, and Money know about that too. You know, going overseas, you know, the love is like 10 times more. So, in every way, man. So that's what it is, man.
It is at one point I want to make. I can't. Sometimes I can't even argue.
What's up, man?
Okay.
On that HBO thing, I was thinking like, if HBO had to sign Danny Jacobs, that means they was desperate, because I think Showtime has the number on their throat right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree.
HBO.
You know, they tried to.
It was a desperate move.
Pay-per-view was going down, so they got to have free fights now.
Yeah.
Paying for pay-per-view no more.
Right.
They lost Top Rank. They lost Floyd Mayweather. You know, they lost Kovalev by him getting knocked out against the guy that they hated, Andre Ward.
They tried to steal Joshua.
Yeah.
They tried. I heard you.
Yeah, they tried to steal Anthony Joshua away from Showtime.
Yeah.
When Showtime matched there. Well, I think they got him a little bit better offer.
They matched that offer.
Yeah.
When they lost Floyd Mayweather, it was all downhill from there.
It was.
It was all downhill. You know,
they laughed at it. They scoffed at that.
Oh yeah, because they thought they could replace him with Golovkin.
Yeah.
They like, we gonna get somebody with the right complexion, you know, for the protection, and we gonna make us a star three times bigger than Floyd Mayweather.
Oh yeah.
That's what they thought. Yeah. No doubt about it.
I agree.
And it backfired.
Hey,
they tried to put that boy on pay-per-view.
What's the analogy I always make? They went from New Edition to the Backstreet Boys.
To the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
That's not even that good of a because Backstreet Boys they did numbers. You know what I mean? Golovkin didn't do.
He did numbers.
He had no Mayweather numbers.
Not Mayweather numbers.
Yeah,
no, ain't nobody doing Mayweather numbers.
Backstreet Boys. Covered. New Kids on the Block, and then they did numbers. On the Block.
You know? That's what it was. Yeah.
Pat Boone did better numbers than Little Richard. You know what I mean? So
they went from New Edition to New Kids on the Block.
Hey, and real quick, man, let me go ahead and give shout out to The Beat. The Beat is by Rujay, man. Beats by Rujay. Hey, he actually just did this beat. And it's also by William Beats. And I'm bringing it up because he named, I haven't even met this guy, but he named this beat Mayweather. So this beat you guys are hearing right now, he titled the video, or he titled the beat Mayweather, determined rap beat. You know what I mean? So shouts out to Rujay. That's what it is, man. So we had to go ahead and bump that. Anyway, to my caller. All right, man. Thanks for your call, man. We're going to get to another one, okay? What's up?
I watch you every day, man.
Man, I appreciate it, family.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. Call back, all right, man?
Anytime.
All right, man. Thanks for the love, man. That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
that's
man.
What's up, man.
Danny is still one of my favorite.
We're gonna take another call in a minute.
Man.
Go ahead, Milt.
Danny's still one of my favorite middleweights, and I predicted this after the after that loss to Golovkin, because I know no loss is really good, but the way he lost that fight, it didn't do him too much damage. And the thing is, most of the top guys are not going to want to get in there with him, because he doesn't have a title.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The money could still be good, but hey, it's too risky. The risk isn't worth the reward, or some people say the juice ain't worth the squeeze. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew he was going to be odd man out. He's going to be struggling to find a dance partner, and it's just going to be tough for him.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt about it.
Danny Jacobs.
Oh yeah, same thing with Earl Spence.
Danny needs.
Earl too. Errol too. It's just tough for him. Yeah. Terrence. People are trying to build up the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence fight, but I think that fight probably will be another year and a half to almost 2 years down the road. I want to see it. I want to see it, but they're gonna let that marinate.
They're gonna let that marinate. Shout out again to my man Coach Sheldon. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He's my one and only moderator. I'm gonna get some more moderators. Coach Sheldon, if you see anybody right now in the comment section that we can make moderators, you know what? I know I can make my man Angel Santos a moderator. We're gonna do that. But subscribe to CSM HB J Dog, Coach Sheldon in the building. Subscribe to his channel, man. That's for real. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And let me go ahead. I'm gonna make Angel Santos a moderator right now.
And so the thing with Errol Spence with Peterson is supposedly Peterson dropped his WBA regular in order to
negotiate with Errol Spence.
Yes.
So I guess, like I said, I believe they're in the talks. Maybe Derek couldn't say anything.
I'm not sure, but I mean that's that's what I was hearing. Had anybody else heard that Lamont Peterson was gonna drop his regular in order to be able to negotiate with Spence's camp?
No.
Okay.
I haven't heard any specifics regarding that.
I was checking the comments. What'd you say? My bad. What'd you say?
No, I was saying that I heard that Lamont Peterson was going to be dropping his WBA regular,
but he hasn't done it though yet, right? He hasn't done, because Lamont is in a great position right now because he can wait for the Thurman fight, because he's the number one contender for Thurman as well.
Right.
To me, if I was him, I would rather wait in line for Thurman.
What I can't understand is when the WBA. Because right now, for me, Demetrius Andrade is the WBA regular, right?
Demetrius Andrade
and
no, he the number one WBA champ.
Yeah, isn't that
well, he vacated and went up to
154. But what I'm saying is, he waited for a long time to try to fight Lara.
Yeah.
He waited a long time to try to get that Lara fight, and he thought that winning the WBA regular
that win he had in Germany was supposed to put him in position to fight Lara. Yeah,
right. But Lara has fought two different people since then.
Yeah,
and I'm just wondering how is it that they can make that happen and not force that fight between Andrade and Lara. And now Andrade is going to be moving up to 160.
But you remember Lara was saying that after they get past Goucher, that was going to be the next fight. They were saying that Andrade was going to be. Well, I mean, it ain't going to happen now because, Andrade, he done got fed up and now he done moved to the middleweight division. But what's really going to be interesting is, once again, with Canelo, because he's extremely young, unless he gets knocked out like Vargas did against Trinidad. But Canelo, Golovkin, those are, the big names at middleweight, right? Mm-hmm. So the question is, are they going to be able to avoid all these fighters on the coincidental list? Jamal Charlo, Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade. That's going to be terrible. That's going to be horrible. Money, I mean, do you see Golovkin or Canelo ever fighting them guys in the near future?
Maybe not Triple G.
Exactly.
But Canelo is in the crosshairs, and I'm telling you right now, you know, I look at it like this. Remember how we always saw Usain Bolt, how he blow people away about mid part of the race?
Mm-hmm.
When he got older, he didn't start doing that until towards the end.
Right.
But that's what's happening now. That's what's happening now with Triple G and also Canelo, because he does have some mileage on him. Even though he's young, he has a lot of miles on him.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you have these young lions. So the main thing is have a few good fights, walk on out the door. But if you're looking for greatness, you don't care about that, like Errol Spence or Deontay Wilder, you're just going to throw all caution into the wind, and you're going to take these guys head on and silence the critics.
Mm-hmm.
So which one are you going to do?
Which one are you going to do?
Me, yeah, which one are you going to do? So to me, these guys now are a little bit too much for both of them at this point in time of their careers.
Yeah,
it's all about making money now. Let's just face it and just call it for what it really is right now.
And do you want to make money? Go ahead, Kirk.
I was going to say the thing with Golovkin is he's kind of really been untested against elite opposition up until recently, up until he actually finally fought Kell Brook with the welterweight, and then fought Danny Jacobs, and then Canelo.
Right.
So that's when he really faced top guys. So I definitely don't see him going out of his way now to fight other top guys who may hold the same financial incentive that he would get fighting a Canelo.
Yeah. You, Kirk, you just said it. Then on top of that, you look at it like an insurance policy. Hey, if I go out here, I'm Triple G. I go out here and I go fight Charlo. I'm sorry, that is high risk, no reward, not a little, no reward to that fight. Unless you all are paying me like Mayweather numbers or something like that. You give me 70, 80, 90, $100 million. I'm sorry, I'm not getting into the ring with this.
But thank you, Money. Hey, money. Hey, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. The thing is unfortunate, and I know a lot of people don't want to believe it. And it was a lot of people knock him because HBO hyped him up so much. I look at the man for what he is. Triple G was a damn good middleweight. But the thing is, he's 35 years old. And he's soon going to be on the 40 side of 35.
Are we going down that road again?
It is, man. And especially, it is, man. It is.
Boy.
He doesn't have the skill. He doesn't have the skill of someone like B-Hop. B-Hop could rely on a lot of other skills and assets in the ring in order to keep him fighting past that age.
That sums it all up, what you just said right there. He does not have the skill. He doesn't have the skill of a B-Hop. He doesn't have the skill of Andre Ward.
But he was what he was. What I'm saying is, if he could have caught some of these fights.
We can't say if, because he's never fought those type of opponents when he was younger. And he turned pro later in his career. That's like, once again, like fighters like Jesse James Leha, or even my man that we had on the show, super flyweight, Beeman. My man Beeman. He started late in his career. You know, Dwayne Beeman. He started late in his career, so he's not gonna, just age in the next 2 years just because all of a sudden he wakes up at 34 or he wakes up at 35. You got to put miles on the car. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it is genetics. There's other things that go into it.
But there was really no
man
miles.
At 35. A man at 35 ain't the same as he was at 30.
That's not true when it comes to boxing.
Oh man, I mean, cannot name a lot of fighters that who went past age 35 who were just the same as what they were when they were fighting at age 28 to 32.
If they started later. But once again, we're not comparing Golovkin. Only way that would apply with Golovkin is if Golovkin had already beat like the Danny Jacobs when he was younger.
It's unfortunate he didn't. But I'm with Money Powell.
But he didn't want to, though.
What I'm saying is I'm with Money Powell in that, hey, that time is gone. Unless you paying me some serious dollars to get in there with one of those young lions, I could understand.
Well, let me say this too, though, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. When it comes to the high risk, no reward at all, I will say there are wins like Floyd Mayweather, because since he's like the Michael Jordan of boxing, we can always use him as an example. When Floyd Mayweather beat Philip Endo, that was a fight he didn't have to take. But you look back in hindsight, Philip Endo, I remember this was back in the KO magazine, Ring magazine, and they would show a monthly prospect, right?
Right.
And when you seen them on that list, you be like, oh man, this dude is real good. He's undefeated, or he's this and he's that, and you automatically, because we didn't have social media,
right?
So you just see him, basically being looked at as the big prospect, blah 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 blah. Floyd Mayweather destroyed him, annihilated him.
Right.
He didn't have to take that fight. But now when you look at his resume and you say, man, forget about the bigger names like Pacquiao, Canelo. We could even look at the names people, didn't really know that well.
Right.
What he did to Philip Endo, that was huge, right? So I'm just saying, once again, with Canelo.
You talking legacy.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about legacy. And I agree. And I feel what Money is saying, which is, do you want to make the money? You want to be great, or do you want both? And some people, they just gonna go for money. Like somebody like a Leo Santa Cruz,
right.
or somebody like that. They just gonna be like, let me just pay these bills. Let me go ahead and rack it up. I don't need to
rake
be
it up,
great.
rake it up.
Yeah,
rake it up.
I don't need to be great. Just let me go ahead and give me a little.
Hey, Triple G, if you're listening, rake it up, rake it up. Hey man, don't be listening to these people, man. Let's
take another call.
Don't you get your answer down with them. Cash out. We cashing out.
Hey, don't
cash
do
out,
it,
baby. Don't.
You heard it. Don't. My man said, don't do it. Let's take another call. Right now we have 570. What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
My name is Rick. I'm calling from the Poconos in Pennsylvania, brother.
Oh,
that's what it is. What's going on, Rick? What's on your mind?
Brother, man, it's good to talk to you. Congratulations on the award you just got.
Oh, thank you.
You deserve that, brother.
Thank you, man. And let me plug that. But thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man.
You're welcome, brother. A couple of points that I wanted to make. When it comes to this fight coming up with Charlo and Lubin, I think that fight's going to turn out just like the J-Rock fight turned out.
Ooh, interesting.
I thought about that too.
I've been comparing it to that fight a lot. Go ahead, man.
J-Rock was doing really well. Then he got too excited, made a couple of mistakes, and got caught. I think the same thing is going to happen to Lubin. It's just going to happen later in the fight. I think it's going to be a great fight, but I think Charlo's going to definitely win that fight. Another point I wanted to make when it comes to the decaf, we have to stop giving these guys energy. We have to stop talking about them because these guys basically don't deserve to be talked about. If somebody comes up to you and says that the sky is gold and it's blue, you're going to walk away from them. We need to do the same thing with these decaps. Let's stop giving them energy.
And I agree with you to a certain extent, but as long as we not putting names out there, as long as we're not putting names out there on the decafs, then it really doesn't matter. I mean, but the unfortunate thing is there are more decafs out there than there are knowledgeable boxing fans. So
exactly.
I mean,
and
all we
do.
It's just education. That's all it really is education, and that's what we basically do over here. Is we educate people.
I don't think we can educate idiots. I really don't think so. The bottom, I really don't think so, brother. I don't think we can. The bottom line is, this is how I look at it. You do an excellent job. You don't really go too deep on the decaps, but other guys like Boxing Ego, they spend way too much time talking about these guys. And guys that are really knowledgeable boxing fans, that time takes away from their time. And so I think that when it comes to those guys, maybe we shouldn't talk about them as much.
Well,
right now I'm talking about it too
much. But that's what I'm saying. But see, this is the whole thing, though. When it comes to talking boxing, I mean, it's boxing politics is really what it comes down to. And it's like it's almost impossible to talk politics without rebuttaling what some you know, another party may say. You know what I mean? If you know that that's something that they're saying, you have to logically, you know, find a way to rebuttal it. So once again, like I said, as long as you're not putting names out there and just, you know, giving someone in particular, you know, a light or something like that who doesn't deserve it and they're irrelevant, you know, then it doesn't really matter. But no, but we have to educate people though, you know. So at the end of the day, we have to educate people. And once again, you know, and if people see themselves as a decaf, you know, that's not my damn fault. You know, that's like, you know, if I say it's some stupid, I'm just gonna go and say, if I say there's some stupid bitches in the room like that, and someone, you know, and some man's standing up and he said, hey man, I ain't no bitch. Why you calling me a bitch? You know what I'm saying? My point is, why do you see yourself as that?
Why did you answer?
Yeah, why did you jump up?
It's not what you called, it's what you answer to.
Yeah,
I got you, brother. I got you. I hear you.
But it's education at the end of the day. Go ahead, man.
My last point that I wanted to make. Everyone that watched the Triple G and Canelo fight, when they watched the fight with the commentary, when it was live, a lot of people had Triple G winning. But when they went back and watched it again without the commentary, everybody reversed their opinion. Everybody that I know who had Triple G winning originally. So I don't think we realize how much the commentary, you know, persuades our thoughts when we're watching these fights live. That's why a lot of the fights, when I watch them, I generally watch them through Box Nation, you know, which is over in Europe, because those guys are not as biased as these HBO guys. So generally, they call the fight a little bit fairer. And then also, too,
I agree with
that. The love that we're shown over in Great Britain in these places, they really love boxing over there because they don't have football and basketball and all that stuff going on over there like we do here.
Yeah.
We have a lot of alternative sports here. Boxing is very, very big over there, and they respect people who box.
Yeah, no, I no doubt about it. But there's no doubt that different countries.
Okay, brothers. Hey, it's good talking to you, Dante. Let me let you go and get somebody else in, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate you calling in. All right, brother. Take care. All right, man. And let me go ahead and give a big shout out to my man Pugilism Company, or Pugilism CO. That's matter of fact, he just showed me a whole lot of love in the super chat section. My man, he said pugilism.com. He wants to plug his website for your latest boxing news articles by writer Sean Reed. So good looking out if that is Sean Reed. I appreciate you, brother. For sure. I appreciate you, man.
Pugilismcompany.com.
Yeah, pugilismcompany.com. But it says pugilismco.com. So y'all go ahead and y'all make sure y'all go check out that website, because if this man know about some DBN, he must know about some damn boxing. All right, y'all. So I appreciate it, my man, joining that super chat DBN army.
Didn't some hit me, man? He hit me in the comments. He was saying I keep pushing that Triple G getting old narrative, but the cat ain't getting younger. I can tell you that, man.
At least Milton was honest when he said keep him away from the dangerous lions.
Hey, man.
At least he was honest about that.
He's not getting younger.
Hey, somebody
check this out, guys. Just to say this real quick.
Certainly.
Let's not say old anymore. Let's go with politically correct. We're going to say that gravity affects them a little bit differently than everyone else.
Right. That's a great way to put it, Money. That's a great way to put it, Money.
Gravity. There you go. I'm not getting older. It's just that gravity, well, just has a little bit of a different effect on me. That's all. I can see money. I can see my son's punches coming at me, but for some odd reason, like some 20-something years later, I can't move away from them like how I used to be, you know, like back in the day.
But the only
I'll just say I'm not getting older.
That's a great way. That's a great way to put it. But you know, remember, what's his name? Gennady Golovkin. He was having the same problems, you know, about 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, you go back and you watch the Kasim. You go back and watch the Kasim Uma fight. You watch the Kasim Uma fight. You watch the Willie.
Kasim Uma?
Yeah, you watch the Willie Monroe fight. Willie Monroe. He had 6 knockouts, and Willie Monroe was backing up Golovkin at times in that fight. You know, we seen the same.
Some hammers on him.
Yeah, he was landing some hammers.
But Golovkin was standing right. But even Canelo landed hammers on him, but the cat ain't going nowhere.
No, that's not my point. My point is we seen the exact same type of performance against Willie Monroe.
You know the thing that
we seen against Kell Brook, against Danny Jacobs. The only difference is Willie Monroe, the contrast, he only had 6 knockouts. Danny Jacobs was taller. He had knockouts. He was a natural middleweight. Kell Brook had the athleticism. Probably had more power than Willie Monroe had. And he was a champion. You know what I mean? Very athletic. So once again, if you step up in competition, and once again, I mean, if we've been following the sport of boxing, how many times have we seen this, though, realistically, where someone looks like a monster at a certain level of competition?
Right.
As soon as they step up in competition, we don't see it anymore.
I wholeheartedly understand that. I completely understand that. But what I'm saying is, it's not the difference in his opponents or what his opponents were able to do. What I see the difference is, I don't see him pulling the trigger like he did. Like he normally does.
Like against
I don't see him.
Like, give me an opponent, for example, when you say you don't see. Okay, what fight did you watch Golovkin in and you said that right there is vintage? That's like the best in his prime. Golovkin against what opponent?
Against
Exactly.
No, I'm just saying.
No, let him answer. Let him answer.
No, because he knocked all of them out.
I want to hear this. No, but
David Lemieux.
That's my but see but in the David Lemieux fight, he used his jab. He didn't fight toe to toe. He didn't do the. He
did the same thing with Curtis Stevenson. Also,
no. He
broke him down.
He engaged more with Curtis Stevenson, but
he broke him down with the jab.
So if his best performance was against David Lemieux, then what does that really say about him? If David Lemieux had already been knocked out a couple times, he had he wasn't like an undefeated fighter. Like when you say Floyd Mayweather, or Andre Ward, or even Lomachenko, in that sense, their best performance is Lomachenko versus Gary Russell, Floyd Mayweather versus Corrales. These are dudes that were looked at as monsters. Lemieux wasn't looked at as a monster. He was a heavy underdog who had already been knocked out before. You know what I'm saying?
You asked me what fight he looked his best in.
No, you're right. You're right.
You asked me which fight he looked his best in, and I said David Lemieux.
And
I can't make
I'm not rebuttaling that.
I can't make him have fought somebody else.
I'm just saying that's my point. I'm saying
what I'm saying is he went to the body.
I feel like that every time he gets in the competition, he looked less extraordinary to me. These last few fights, when the competition was deeper, he didn't look like the monster they kept saying he was. And none of these last fights.
Now, I mean,
like the monster they said he was. I thought he was such a killer. I thought he was such a monster.
Ed
Jacobs told me out of his own mouth. He said the punches is not what everybody said it was. And Canelo said the same shit. He's only a monster.
Canelo actually did. Well, Canelo actually did compliment Golovkin on power, but that doesn't matter, though. I mean, the bottom line is David Lemieux was not a world beater. David Lemieux
was a dangerous fighter,
but he wasn't.
He was coming in.
It wasn't Charlo. It wasn't Charlo Lubin. No. It wasn't Ward Kovalev. It wasn't Lomachenko Rigo.
There's some have certain variables such as power, or they might have outstanding speed, but they can't put everything together because they lack the skill and they lack the experience against top opposition. It's like, does anyone even remember who David Lemieux beat to get the belt? I mean, he didn't even defend his belt. He just got the belt and then went straight to Golovkin.
Which I thought was stupid. I thought that was bad business sense.
Knocked out by Marco Antonio Rubio.
I mean, just
ESPN Friday Night Fights. I mean, he's not a spectacular fighter. He's not a bum, but he's not
top-level competition.
I mean,
he's a tough out.
If he don't get you out of there in 3 rounds, he's gassed anyway. He's not top level competition.
No,
and when you're Golovkin, when you're fighting Danny Jacobs or you're fighting Canelo for instance, and they're upper echelon type fighters, your attack is going to be limited to a degree because you're fighting guys who are more skilled and they have experience. They can roll with certain punches. They take away certain things. Like whenever you're fighting somebody, my personal experience when I fought guys who are, better than who I'm used to fighting, guys with more experience and more skill, I realized immediately, oh shit, I can't do what I did against last week. I got
I mean, it's just like a video game. You use the video game analogy. You go way back playing Shinobi, Ultra Beast, Double Dragon. All you got to do, when it's just regular opponents, all you got to do is just button mash. You could just hit kick, you could just hit punch, and they just fall. But then when you fight the boss in the stage, the stage boss, all of a sudden just, smashing the buttons don't work. You got to use strategy, So I mean,
listen. That should tell you right there how extraordinarily great Floyd Mayweather is, because even when he stepped up in competition, he always looked amazing, but in different ways. That tells you right there how super great.
And imagine, and let's go further. Let's go further. Imagine if Floyd Mayweather, not to cut you off, Miss Boxing Baby, but let's just imagine if Floyd Mayweather was the natural same weight as David Lemieux. Imagine if not even just Floyd. Imagine Errol Spence. Imagine Andre Ward. Imagine these guys in the natural same weight class as David Lemieux. Mm-hmm. Do you really think they would have fought a safety first fight and it would have took them 9-10 rounds? And even if it did, do you think it would have been as safety first as it was against Golovkin?
You think that was safety first?
No doubt.
Beat that man to death. Man, he destroyed that cat.
But even
it wasn't just with jabs.
No, but even HBO
he softened that dude up with the jab.
But
he
even
controlled
HBO
the fight
said,
with the jab.
Listen, even Jim
then he
Lampley
beat him
said,
to the body. Then he started whipping his ass, and Steve Willits
are you telling
had to
me,
jump in there.
Are you telling me telling me he fought Lemieux the same way that he fought what's your England boy? Martin Murray, and the other one that Sergio Amaro knocked out, the other one. But anyway, you telling me he fought them the same way?
Gale.
Yeah, Gale, because see, this is the thing. Even Jim Lampley, right after the fight, I remember he said, now since Gennady Golovkin boxed, some people are going to criticize him for boxing. That's what Jim Lampley said, and we know that's Golovkin's biggest advocate.
To me, it just showed that the cat wasn't just as one-dimensional as everybody. One-dimensional,
like Teddy Atlas said, when you got damn near 400 fights, it's not that much of a surprise. You have a jab and you know how to box a little bit. When you have that many fights. But
let me tell you, I have never said that Triple G was on a pound for pound one of the greatest. He's
think he's that great of a boxer.
He's not that great of a boxer, but what he does, he does well. He got power. He knows how to set it up. He knows how to control distance. He knows how to control distance. He got good timing. He did well.
That's what keeps him there.
And that's it.
That's what keeps him there.
Yeah, yeah. It's a decent and once
great timing. Great timing and great control of range.
Yeah. Canelo. It was David Lemieux. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and once again,
not a top level.
And yeah, that's good on your resume. I mean, but we already know, like certain fighters like Errol Spence, those are the type of opponents that they would like to fight, like in their first 15 fights. You know what I mean? That's a type of fight that they would like. So when you say that's Golovkin's biggest win, that's all I'm saying. I mean, once again, we just drawing the contrast. And that's really what it comes down to. If we comparing Golovkin to some amateur fighter that hasn't turned pro yet, then you could say, oh, that's terrific what he accomplished. He beat David Lemieux. He did this. Who are we comparing him to is what it really comes down to at the end of the day. I mean, if you look at, once again, you look at fighters, you look at the contrast, you look at Terrence Crawford. These guys are aspiring to fight the best competition, moving up in weight, and they're knocking out better competition, just like they knocked out, lesser competition, and so that's my whole point. I mean, you look at what Crawford did to the African, I forget his damn name now. Ndongo. You look at what he did to him, and then you look at how Golovkin, fought against Lemieux. I'm just saying we just drawing the dichotomy. That's all I'm saying right now. So yeah, is Golovkin a good fighter? Yeah, he's a good fighter. But if we comparing them to the Wards, the Lomachenkos, the Mayweathers, the Terrence Crawfords, the Errol Spences, and all of those, he's all the way at the bottom of the list. That's all I'm saying. If there was a tournament with all of them fighters I just mentioned, Rigo, Loma, Ward, Mayweather, would you really pick him to beat any of those guys in the same weight class?
In the same weight class, probably not. But
I'm
saying is, I'm not trying to say he is the greatest middleweight that ever lived. I'm not saying that he's the greatest middleweight of the past 25 years.
I didn't even say that.
But what I'm saying is, what the guy does, what he does well. I'm not trying to make him be better or worse.
I agree with that.
He knows he stays within his own game plan.
What Matisse does well. What Gotti does, he does well. What Mickey Ward did, he did well.
Sometimes them people tried to get outside of who they were. And even with Gotti.
Mickey Bay had a great body. Not Mickey Bay. Mickey Ward. He had a great left hook to the body.
He was a brawler. He was what he was.
But I'm saying what you just said.
But what I'm saying is
the things that he did well. Right. So you could say that with any fighter, though.
No,
I mean,
this guy, they did it good. He does it exceptionally well. The cat had power along with it.
I think what Jordan trying to express is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like Golovkin's very consistent. Like that's one of his greatest traits. He's very consistent with what he does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the difficult trait to have in yourself. The discipline and the strong mentality.
That's it. That's it.
Improve your style across various styles and to like remain the same, as you are.
And once again, though, when he steps up in competition, though, we don't see a lot of those things that he does really well. Outside, he showed a great jab, and that's the reason why I still got to go back and watch the fight and understand something. Even though I'm criticizing Gennady Golovkin, and when it comes to comparing him to other pound for pound fighters out there, I still I thought he had beat Canelo in that fight. I still have to go back and watch the fight, and mainly because of his jab. He does have an excellent jab. He's great at applying pressure with his jab, but once again, it depends on who the opponent is. And like Miss Boxing Baby said, you have certain talents out there, like, once again, like a Floyd Mayweather, like a Andre Ward, like a Guillermo Rigo. They can show that same type of consistency even when they step up in competition. We don't see a different person just because they step up in competition.
I give you a good example, and not necessarily a good example, but even Kovalev. Kovalev was one-dimensional, and he was beating a lot of guys, top guys.
I wouldn't say he's one-dimensional.
He was. All he has is the 1-2. He doesn't throw a hook. He doesn't go to the body well.
He's good at controlling range. He's good at controlling distance.
He's good at controlling range and distance, and he got a powerful right hand that comes straight down the pipe. He was and Andre Ward, who was a much more superior fighter, kind of exposed those things. And he also exposed his, hey, when you bully him back, he'll back down from you. Also, he also exposed that. But one thing about it, Kovalev was not, but he was always mentioned as a pound for pound top fighter. But I always saw Kovalev as just a 1-2. He jabs coming down the pipe. He gonna go to the body. But all he did was he did those exact same things, but he did them exceptionally well. He had great timing. He controlled distance. And, even Bernard Hopkins thought he was going to beat him because he said he had Frankenstein feet. Because he didn't move his feet. He couldn't. He never did try to get light on his feet.
But what separates Kovalev is he beat somebody like a Bernard Hopkins. And once again,
at 50,
he was. But I'm only comparing his competition to Golovkin's competition. Because honestly,
I say they were on par.
I think on par with who?
I personally think Ward would beat Golovkin worse than he beat Kovalev.
No doubt he would have stopped Golovkin. I think even
I don't know about that.
I think he would have stopped Golovkin.
He may have stopped him.
Yeah, I think Ward would have stopped Golovkin.
It was just as much of a chance of him getting stopped himself.
Not at all. You believe
Golovkin almost got stopped by Kovalev?
No. He didn't. That's not this. You believe that Golovkin would have had just as good of a chance of stopping Ward as vice versa?
I do.
No way.
I do.
No
at
way.
160.
If that is
160,
the case,
yes.
Money Powell.
At 174. At 174, no.
Money. What you think about that? He said that he believes that Golovkin would have had just as good of a chance of knocking out Ward as vice versa. What's your thoughts on that?
Wait a minute. Golovkin against Ward?
Yeah, he said. Okay.
No.
And Triple G
because Mayweather and Ward are almost the same, and Bernard Hopkins too. These guys are like amoebas. They take form to what you're showing them. That from what I'm seeing, I'm going to take your greatest strength.
Excellent
and I'm going
analogy.
to take that away from you. All these little things that I've seen you do well. I'm going to. It's like a sitting down at a chessboard. Slowly but surely, I'm erasing all of you. I'm starting with your pawns, then I'm coming after your bishops. I'm taking everything away from you. Yep. Checkmate. And that's all. Now, there's always a chance. Now, to me, I think dealing with guys like Ward, even Bernard Hopkins, I said, you have to come out like Joe Frazier. You have to come out with no fear and go, just like 100-yard sprints. You got to jump on these guys because if you let them get into their rhythm, I'm sorry, you're going to lose.
He would have got annihilated by Ward, and he knew that too. That's why he didn't want no parts of Ward. Even when Ward was fighting him at 164, he didn't want no parts.
And, you know, and Dante, I think Dante made a mention about. Yeah, you're right in what you're saying. You're right in what. And okay, well, I look at it like this. Who do you see calling out Ward? I mean, at the time when he was the super middleweight.
Yeah.
How many guys were actually calling Ward out?
And this is money. And this is why. And this is why sometimes these conversations, you know, are so frustrating to have. Because once again, we speaking for certain fighters that won't even get in there themselves. You know what I mean? It's like we sit over here, you know, saying, "Oh man, so and so would have killed so and so," but yet that fighter doesn't even want to get in the ring with that person. So I mean, in a certain sense, if you really think about it, even they're agreeing with our assessment when we basically say, you know, he didn't have a chance, or not he didn't have a chance, but he would have most likely lost. Something else, which is common sense, is if you look at Golovkin's style, Golovkin. He's not an inside fighter. Golovkin is not comfortable fighting on the inside. He's a mid-range hooker. He's comfortable when you're backing up. If you come forward like Willie Monroe did, you come forward, you smother Golovkin, he's not comfortable. What does Ward do very well? He smothers you. You know, he smothers you. He can box you on the tail end, and then he can jump in and he can break you down. All them little punches, Bernard Hopkins style. That's why, once again, when I brought up Bernard Hopkins, I think even the 50-year-old Bernard Hopkins, not saying he would have guaranteed beat Golovkin, but there's no doubt about it. Bernard that would have been a way closer fight. That same 50-year-old Hopkins against the middleweight, you know, Golovkin. You agree with that? Then compared to Kovalev, right?
I believe that.
Okay, and
when you look at Styles and his ability, Golovkin would have trouble. He would. Based on Styles alone. You know something? I wish they had a video game where you can play it like on the internet. It's too big to put on the DVD. Where you can actually take like the year of a fighter. You know, like a 1985 Mike Tyson versus a 2002 Lennox Lewis with those actual physical features
attributes
about themselves. And then it would like boom. Okay, then you take someone like a Triple G. You know, like how let's dial it back. Okay, 2015 Triple G versus let's see, a 1996 version of Hopkins. You see what you get?
Yeah.
No. It's not going to end well for Triple G. He's nice.
No.
But when you have a guy that can eliminate, and when you're looking at guys who can eliminate and take away what you're doing, that's bad news.
Money.
That's worst style
money.
Like that would be the most one-sided, high-profile fight that we've seen in years.
There's no, and Golovkin probably listening right now. He's like, "Yep, they right." He probably listening right now. Listen, because he want to know parts. You know, actions speak louder than words. Something else you guys have to think about. Look at how Golovkin fought Jacobs, and look how he fought Canelo. When he fought against Canelo, he was able to control Canelo with the jab. When he fought against Jacobs, you know, the jab was nowhere to be found because of Jacobs' height, because of his range, because the way he was fighting him, right? So you take away Golovkin's jab, and he can't control you with that jab, and he looked like he was lost. He looked like he was basically lost, you know, when he couldn't, you know, basically out jab Danny Jacobs. So once again, you know,
Jacobs is a natural middleweight with a better jab.
What's that?
Jacobs is a natural middleweight with a better jab.
Natural middleweight, and once again, you know,
he didn't even go to Jacobs' body, and Triple G loves to work the body.
He didn't go to Canelo's body either.
He didn't go to Canelo's body either, and that's another thing. And that's another thing when you.
As he steps up in competition, he looks ordinary.
If Errol Spence was in there with Canelo Alvarez, we know if Errol Spence was in there with Canelo Alvarez, we know he would have went to the body. We know he would have went to the body. But once again, like we talked about on the last show, Milt, you have to take more risk.
There's a lot of risk involved with going to that body. You don't just you leave that face open. And Canelo, one of the best counter punchers in the game right now, would have definitely exploited that. Would have exploited that. So you know that.
He was worried about that counter.
Yeah, them counter uppercuts and all counter right hands.
That's right.
Hey guys, let's try to take another call. We starting to wind down. We've been 2 hours in. conversation is good. It's going by fast, but let's try to get another call in. We have 972. What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Yo, you mentioned me earlier, Dante. This Sean Reed.
Oh, you was the one with the collard greens and the pork chops you was cooking, right? Yeah. We said
that was my boy Stewart. I think that was my boy Stuart Wallace who owns the site. He said, "Hey man, Dante's talking. Get on the line."
Oh yeah.
Shut down my grandkids. I shut it all down for you, brother. The kids, I was pouting because the Cowboys lost to Green Bay.
How did that happen?
Oh man. Milton is more the football guy.
I know, man. I've been trying to boycott. I've been holding strong. Yeah, man.
Hey, y'all. Speaking of which, y'all saw Jerry Jones and the boys. We knelt in the middle of the field. We started.
Oh no! What? I missed that one.
Yeah. What else? What's on your mind, bro? When it comes to some boxing talk, man.
Well, y'all was talking Triple G, man. I agree with a lot of what y'all are saying. To me, it was strange how a lot of Triple G fans would say, "Oh, he can't possibly be bothered to go up to 68. He's a natural middleweight." But yet, he made it clear he would have moved down to 54 to meet Floyd. And one of your panelists made it obvious that he wanted to fight Ward at 164.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, when Canelo was offering to catch weight 2 years ago, everybody was calling Canelo this, that, and the third. And I'm like, well, what they forget is Floyd made Canelo fight him at a catch weight, and so did Cotto. So Canelo was just exercising the same thing that has been exercised upon him. And yet he was called, all kind of unsavory names that you just call a boxer just because he was exercising his right as the A side of the promotion.
But I'll say this though.
Triple G couldn't do that.
But I'll say this though. He wanted Triple G to come at a catch weight, but he was holding the 160-pound title. So Triple G was saying, "Hey, if you're gonna hold a 160-pound title, we got to fight at 160 pounds." And then that's when Canelo and his team kind of got mad with Mauricio Suleiman because they kept pressuring him to go ahead and make that fight. But
he would have came down
they wanted
Floyd though, right?
Of course, who don't want to cash out on Floyd? That Floyd money is going to be the money.
I'm just putting it out there. He was so big on that go against the catch weight, but he would have came down to 154, drained himself 6 pounds.
Hey, Bernard Hopkins said he would drain himself. Bernard Hopkins said he would have come down from 175 to fight Floyd.
But they don't have no Bernard Hopkins resume though. So Bernard could retire. When he said that,
but what I'm saying is everybody wants to fight Floyd. That's of course. Look at Chino Maidana. Chino Maidana is down there. Then gained like 80 pounds, man, down in.
But we talking about the hypocrisy of not wanting to fight, other, dangerous opponents, though. If it's one thing if that's the only fighter you want to fight is Floyd Mayweather, but if you done already beat a whole bunch of other big names and you want to add Floyd, on top of what you done already did, that's two different conversations, though. That's pretty much all I'm saying.
Nah.
But my thing was, so Ward was the champion at 68. So it was good enough for Triple G to say, "Hey, I need you to move down, and I'm fighting for your belt.
Yeah.
I need you to come down and defend your title against me at this weight." But yet he couldn't come down a few pounds for Canelo. To me, it was just hypocrisy to me. Is all.
Huge.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, at the highest level.
Fans, don't tell me. The Triple G fans don't tell me, "Oh, well, Canelo's a bitch and this and that." When you tried to play the same thing against Ward beforehand.
And it was all talk because when Ward said he would do it, he didn't want no parts. Then it was quiet.
Yeah.
Right. And Ward said, "Let's do it." Right. There was no other talk. You're right. You're right.
Absolutely.
And then if you're going to move down to fight Canelo, don't even fight him for the belt. Just fight him just to fight him so you get that name on your resume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to just bring this up because I wanted to mention this. Tim Bradley, shout out to Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley is built different. Like I said, there's a small percentage of fighters that dare to be great. I remember when Tim Bradley, when he was winning and he was on top. I remember when Brandon Rios was still undefeated, and Brandon Rios just had that big win against I just had his name in it. Mike Alvarez. against Mike
Yeah,
Alvarez.
Alvarado?
Yeah, Alvarado. Tim Bradley wanted to fight Brandon Rios.
Right.
But Bob Arum wanted to put him in there with Mike Alvarado, who had just lost to Brandon Rios. And Tim Bradley said, why y'all want to put me in with the dude who just lost? I want the dude who just came off of the win. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel you.
And if you look at a lot of these fighters today, not all of them, but the ones that just try to get the paychecks, that's exactly what they do. They try to do the opposite. They want to fight the guy that just came off the loss instead of the guy that got the big win. So that's food for thought. I know
what you're saying. That'd be great.
Good way to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
be great.
Yeah, I mean, and a matter of fact, Money, with you having a prospect who's once again, in the next couple of years, everybody's going to know who Money Powell IV is. I mean, how do you see you guys climbing up that ladder in the next couple of years?
Roughly, Money, to go off on what you just said, Money does not like, he does not like fighting guys with a losing record. Money only wants to fight the best guys that they're out, but he realizes, hey.
But he just turned pro, so that's different, though. Yeah, but he only has under 5 fights, so that's different.
But it's just what comes about. But Money's like a risk taker. You throw his name out the door. They just take his name, throw it out the door. Money is one of those guys. He's an old school throwback. He got a little bit from me, a little bit from over there, a little bit. He's just like, in a couple of years, Dad, this is what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to be probably an interim champion by that time, and then probably at the end of my 3rd or 4th year, fighting for an actual title. That's his plan, and he's sticking with that.
That's what it is. Once again, you guys are listening to Money Powell III. His son, Money Powell IV,
Thanks a lot, pal.
is one of the best prospects in the world right now. You guys could check out a lot of his highlights on my channel. Okay, guys? So, we're about to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to take one more call for everybody. Hey, thanks for the call, man. Okay, I just let him go. We're going to take one more call, man, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. We got 718. What's going on? What's your name and where you calling from, man?
Yo, it's Lloyd from Staten Island, New York, man.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Lloyd?
What's good?
Lloyd Banks, what's good, man?
Dante, I'm subscribed to you and I watch you a lot, man. You kind of shocked me after that Triple G fight, saying that Golovkin won. I mean, you very I really like you say some really technical things that I can't even think about at times, man. Especially when you go dissecting Jim Lampley and Howard Lemon. I mean, you really be having me thinking at times, damn, why I couldn't see that or whatever. But when you said that Triple G, you promoted that, your word means something to the brothers, man. When you said Triple G won, I'm looking at the skill level. Everybody's talking about, Golovkin was walking through his punches, this and that. Nobody's talking about how he was eating Golovkin's punches too. He was never hurt, and as far as skill wise, Golovkin couldn't land the right hand. I mean, he landed a couple, but come on, there was no. I mean, he did not. He was a shell of himself, and I don't understand. It seemed like Canelo did the right things in that fight, and then somebody like you to say that you carry a little bit of weight as far as us go. I mean. Forget about the decals and all that. Well, we already know that it was this guy's walking through everything. They're going to promote Triple G. I understand that. I'm no Canelo fan. Trust me, I'm no Canelo fan. But I like skill. And, I watch boxing. I like skill. And he did the right things that night, man. And for you to say that, man, I mean, it really took me by surprise, man.
Well, let me
perspective of what that jab. All right, he landed the jab a little something or whatever, but what was your perspective of him winning the fight?
Let me respond. Let me respond to everything you just said right now. First things first is I actually picked Canelo to win the fight easy. My prediction was Canelo was going to win the fight easy. So that already offsets, any notion of me just, taking a side just because I'm trying to, represent a certain party or something like that. I'm only going off of what I see. You know, I never base anything off of, you know, me trying to cater to a certain, you know, group of fans or whatever. I was going off of what I seen.
No. I mean, how did you see it? How did you see it? Like, I know you don't cater. Trust me, I watch your channel. I know you don't cater to nothing.
Yeah. To nothing.
Saying, like, how did you come to?
I'll tell you how I came to it. Okay. Yeah, let me answer that. Once again, I do want to go back and watch it. I only watched the fight once, and I watched it live. You know, I watched it there at the arena, and you know, see, I actually got there a little late. I got there like into the end of the third round, going into the fourth round, and I had to ask other media members, you know, how was the first 3 rounds? They said it looked like Canelo had it. So I didn't even look at the third rounds. I just automatically gave all 3 of those rounds to Canelo. When I was watching the fourth round, I was looking at Golovkin coming forward. Canelo, he wasn't really throwing a whole lot of punches, and I was like, wow. Well, if Canelo was winning the rounds, you know, how was he doing it? Because I'm looking at this fourth round, and it looked like, you know, Golovkin, he was backing him up once again with the jab. You're absolutely right. He didn't land a lot of right hands because he was fighting safety first. But once again, the fact that I picked Canelo going into this fight, you know, and then after I watch it, I say I think Golovkin, you know, won. That shows that I was completely being non-biased. If the guy that I bet on, you know, I'm saying he lost, and that's the guy that I bet on, and it's documented. You know, so this is my thing. Once again, Canelo Alvarez, he wants to do the things that Floyd Mayweather does. Canelo cannot do those things that Floyd Mayweather does. He could not nullify Golovkin's jab, and that was the main thing that was giving him problems in that fight. That's why, you know, a lot of opponents that Golovkin is comfortable with, you'll notice how the fight starts. First, you know, he starts trying to back him up, and he forces them to move a little bit more. Next thing you know, around like the second, third round, their back starts to touch the ropes more, and they start to get closer and closer to the ropes. And next thing you know, they're trapped because Golovkin, he applies a lot of that kind of pressure. Canelo, he couldn't do what a Mayweather, you know, does. Once again, is pull counter, take Golovkin's jab away. And that was his problem in that fight. It wasn't like he was just making it look easy like Mayweather did against Canelo. He was throwing punches every once in a while, you know. So I mean, like I said, my perspective of what I seen, it had nothing to do with no type of agenda. You know what I mean? That was just what I seen in the fight.
You could tell that. You could tell that. Hello?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You could tell that Canelo gassed out a little bit, but have you noticed that
the pressure?
The
pressure.
Go
ahead.
Every time he came off the rope punching, do you notice how far Golovkin would move back? Like, I think, I'm not sure because I don't really know like how hard Canelo hit or whatever. But I never seen Golovkin like jet back every time somebody throw a punch like.
Well, he did it. He did it against Jacobs, and he did it against Jacobs. But let me say, I'm sorry not to cut you off, but let me say one more thing too. You guys also have to remember. I think what happens because, you know, everybody, you know, they already know that Golovkin is overrated. You know, so when you say I think Golovkin won, I think a lot of people automatically look at it as, you know, I thought you said he's overrated. I thought you said he's this, he's that. But we talking about the lesser of two evils right now. And what I mean by that is both fighters were exposed in this fight. You know what I mean? Even though I thought Golovkin won the fight when I first watched it, you know, they still both look very beatable. It doesn't necessarily.
You're right about that.
Yeah,
You're right about that.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah, so it doesn't. It doesn't.
Right about that.
It's not like I was saying, oh, you know what? Everything that I said about Golovkin, you know, I changed. You know, he's actually a GOAT. He's actually, you know, we could start comparing him to Ward now. We could compare him to this guy. No, if you put them up against each other, I thought that if both of them got exposed, if both of them showed flaws, one of them got to look better than the other. You know, if you got two terrible singers, you know, one of them might be able to sing better than the other. That don't mean they good singers, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
With both of those fighters,
I think a lot of people say that Triple G was robbed because they saw the aggression, but they don't realize a lot of that aggression was useless because he was missing a lot of punches, too. But the thing was that Canelo tired, so he was the busier fighter. So the way I had it was I had Canelo early, Triple G somewhere in the middle, Canelo won the last 3. It really could have went 6-6. But that 8 rounds to 4, bullshit. No way ever did Canelo.
Yeah. I believe the 8 round to 4 was no good. But I definitely,
aggression. When fans see aggression, they don't care if your punches are landed or not. They're automatically giving you the round. That's useless aggression because he was missing a lot of punches.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're listening to dumbass Jim Lampley commentate, and they're seeing Harold Levin's scorecard. So, I mean, that's going to confuse.
Yeah, Harold Levin needs to get out of here.
I had Canelo winning 7-5, but even though I had him winning 7-5, I can see how you can make a case for Golovkin winning 7-5 or a case for there being a draw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It could have went any way depending on how you are scoring that. But like I said, this like the other caller said, there's aggression that is
effective,
not
effective,
getting anything done. You know what I mean? That aggression that he was doing wasn't really getting much done or whatever. Just because you're coming forward. Like who's that guy that fought Floyd twice? Maidana. You know what I mean? You could just come forward, but sometimes it's not getting anything done or whatever. If you're gonna come forward, land some right hand or that left hook to the body that he throws. You know what I mean? Anything.
Hey, so you
that's the job of the commentator. That's the job of the commentator to educate the casual fan that's watching. Like, hey, this is what's going on. Why this works or doesn't work.
Already one person. They love Triple G.
That's what I loved about. That's what I loved about some of your old school commentators. Even like when I'm out there and I'm doing it, I don't care who's fighting. Mm-hmm. I call it like how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't lean towards one person or another when I'm doing that. I call it just like how I see it. Like Howard Cosell, for the most part, he calls it just like how he sees it. That is more or less like how I pattern myself.
Yeah, and that's blow by blow, right, Money?
Out there. Blow by blow.
You could tell that Jim Lemley was waiting to say hard right hand from Triple G.
Yeah.
He was waiting for that.
Yeah.
All night he was waiting for that.
I got you. That's right, and that's what when I'm doing commentating, I avoid that big time.
Yeah,
it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing. And that's what the job. That's what the job title is. Like I said, blow by blow. I mean, there's been times when Jim Lampley. I remember once again when the first Manny Pacquiao Tim Bradley fight. It was around the 9th round. They were going back and forth, and Pacquiao. It was a time when Pacquiao he went almost 20 to 30 seconds without throwing a single punch. And Bradley was just throwing combinations. And what's his name? Jim Bradley, he went completely mute.
Jim Lampley.
He didn't say one single word.
Yes.
It was like he was a fan sitting over there next to me or something, and then all of a sudden, soon as Pacquiao threw one punch, left hand by Manny Pacquiao, like in your face, like you bastard, in your bam bam, you bastard, So
Did you see Timothy Bradley's face after that fight?
Did I see his face? You mean his expression or just? Huh?
His face was unmarked after
right,
that fight.
yeah. I remember that.
What did he say?
Jim Bradley's face after that
was
fight.
What? His face was what?
Unmarked.
Oh, it was unmarked. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it was. But once again, I mean, you go back and, like I said, that fight, and it's another long conversation. But if you go back and watch that fight, it was extremely close. Even the referee who reffed it, Bird, he said the fight was extremely close. It could have went either way.
Yeah.
But that's when politics once again, comes in, right? Money, where if their fighter,
very much so. You cannot.
They took his credit.
Yeah. To me, I look at it like this: if I'm fighting Manny Pacquiao, okay, I have to go in and take everything away from this guy. Because number one, I'm not just fighting Manny Pacquiao. I'm fighting Jim Lampley.
HBO, the whole establishment.
Yeah. I'm putting out in public because not only am I up against the promoter, I'm up against the network.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whoever that involved in the network, it's much like what Ken Norton said in his third fight with Muhammad Ali. If I would have won, it would have took a lot out of the sport at the time. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't just fighting Ali. I was fighting against the game, history.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I was fighting against that.
So
it's like, that's when you have to come in there and say, okay, I'm going all out. I'm playing Mr. Spoiler. And you have to just say, throw everything out into the wind. I don't care what's going on. I'm going to make my history today. And you have to stand on that. So you can't let anything look close. You can't.
Absolutely.
You're going to lose.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Hey, Lloyd, man. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, brother. I thank you for your call. All right, man?
No doubt, man. Keep
Thanks
up the
for the
good
call.
work, man.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate
Appreciate
you calling in, man. And on that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. It's been a long night. That means we've been having a whole lot of fun. When we go over 2 hours, that means we having a whole lot of damn fun, man. So, So for my special guest, the Hammer, Erickson Lubin's trainer, Jason Galarza, who called in earlier. For my co-host, as always, my man Big Milt in the building. Money Powell the fourth or the third. Let me get it right. Money Powell.
Wait, we had an appearance by the fourth.
Yeah, we had an appearance. That's right. So I did get it right. Yeah, Money Powell the third and the fourth.
Right.
You know, good looking out, Money. I appreciate you as always, family.
Hey, same here now. Thanks for the support and everything. Always good to be on the show.
All day, man.
Thank you.
Kirk Jackson, you know what it is. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up, Kirk?
Kell Brook is aiming to make a return in February. Not sure against who, but
I did hear that. Yep.
Thank you for adding that. I just seen the headline of him, saying something. Oh, he said he wanted Amir Khan. He said he still wanted Amir Khan, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
and then of course, I was gonna say, of course, thanks for having me on it as always.
Oh, of course. You part of the team. We moving this tank. We all in the tank right now. And my girl, Miss Boxing Baby, who they in love with right now. Was anything you want to close with, Miss Boxing Baby?
No, I'm just ready for Saturday. The best man is going for my dude South. I think he's gonna do his thing, and that's it. Nothing else to say. Thanks for having me on the show.
All day. All right, y'all. So once again, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, man. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. Once again, if you guys want to show your love, you want to support, you guys can go to DontaesBoxingNation at Gmail. You can purchase these fresh, fly DBN shirts. You could go ahead and become a decaf buster, and you could go ahead and get one of these fly shirts that I'm rocking right now. Just go ahead and send me your size and everything. Shout out to ashkicking.com. Oh yeah, I can't forget to add, next weekend I will be at the Pro-Am show. They are going to be honoring your boy Dante's Boxing Nation, Ellie Setback, and Michelle Phelps from Behind the Gloves. They're going to honor us an award out there on Sunday, okay?
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I'll put the information in the description box. If you guys out there in Cali, come check it out. It's a whole bunch of professional fights, amateur fights, so it'll be a real cool event. I'll also be in New York next week covering that triple header. So holler at your boy Dante's Boxing Nation. We're going to keep this tank moving. Let me also go ahead and shout out the DBN Super Chat Army. Everybody that showed love today. Ed Valencia, Densum 4228, and my man Pugilism Company or pugilismco.com. Go ahead and check out that website. That's all we got for now, y'all.
Let me one shout out.
Yeah, go ahead, Milt.
Just one more shout out to our little city, man, Vegas. I don't know if y'all heard.
Vegas strong, Vegas
strong, baby. We trying to keep it strong out here in Las Vegas after some nut job. Committed an unspeakable act of violence and cowardice last weekend, killing 59 people, injuring over 450 people here in Las Vegas. Hey, but the city is still strong.
A millionaire that had nothing to do,
man. And we still want y'all to know that this is a boxing city, and we gonna rep it to the fullest. So anytime y'all get ready, come on out to Vegas, man. Check us out.
Absolutely. Don't let that deter you, man. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Y'all already know what it is. It's the nation, baby.
Peace.
Yep.
All right, you all.